Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 115 of the ReelTok Podcast. We're just banging through episodes, man. This week we have a fantastic just Penguin, Batman episode. We're going to do a recap of almost every Penguin episode. We'll do a little bit of a ranking of our Batman movies. I have a all things Batman draft that I'm still mapping out. Yeah, we'll probably do 10 rounds. Seth was not able to join us. Dealing with some health stuff. Hope he's good. Hope he's all right. And then, yeah, we'll just make it through and we'll talk some news later, but not a super heavy news week. If I remember correctly, 2 weeks ago was D23. And so we didn't get too much on the news front this week. But we'll start with Tyler. How's your week been? What have you been watching? What have you been up to?
Yeah, it's been a busy week. I was traveling for work to Pennsylvania. So last Sunday, we recorded last week on Saturday. Sunday, moved my flight to be later in the day just because I didn't feel like waking up at 5 and had stuff I wanted to get done before I went. So moved my flight to the evening. And red eyes, if you can't sleep, they suck. But if you can, they kind of rock. Because I took a red eye. I had a layover in Salt Lake City. My flight from Salt Lake to Baltimore, there was like no one on it. There was like literally 12 people on the flight. Like I got immediately, because of like my airline status isn't even that high, but the flight was just so empty that like immediately when I switched my flight, like the second I did it, upgraded to first class. But there wasn't even anyone sitting next to me in first class. Like that's how empty it was. Like it was just like a barren flight. I'm guessing the reason is like red eyes, like their intent isn't to make money. I'm sure their intent is like to get the plane to where it needs to be for the next day to have the logistics to work out. So anyone who's on is just like free bonus for the airline. So it was chill. It was peaceful. Slept like a baby. Landed in Baltimore at like 5:30 a.m. Drove straight from there to Pennsylvania, straight to the office, worked a full day. Those days always feel like simulations where you go like red eye straight into a work day. Cause then by the time the work day ends, you're like, oh shit, I was like on a flight from a different state this morning. But travel was hectic, busy week. It was a good week. A lot of suppliers were in town, and it was a busy, packed week of events. And then Thursday flew back through Atlanta and then to Arizona, obviously. And Riley's mom was in town, so we, did dinner Thursday night. We did lunch Monday. We went to the zoo on Friday, and we went to the zoo on Friday as well. Zoo's always a good time. We've been to the Phoenix Zoo once.
Zoo's fun. Always fun.
Great time. The only other time we went to the zoo was in like August. It was like 120 degrees. So this was a lot more fun this time around. But yeah, zoo's good.
What's the weather in Arizona right now?
Right now it's kind of fluctuating every day, but it's between like 60 and 85.
Yeah, that's nice. That's good stuff.
Yeah, yesterday I think it was like 75 or whatever. But today will be 65. So today's not too bad. But yeah, good weather. But yeah, hectic week of travel, and then having Riley's mom in town. So just a busy stuff. And then yesterday, obviously college football. It was an all right day, but like I was talking to you guys before the pod, it was like I was trying to finish the Penguin before this episode, and then I only had a few episodes left last night. So I was like, okay, Wisconsin's playing Oregon. They'll probably get killed. I'll just watch during. So I was watching an episode during the first like quarter of the game. Then I was like, oh, shit, I'll pause it and just see how this plays out because Wisconsin's actually beating the number one team in the country. And then they were winning the entire game. They lost, which I expected. Like, I wasn't really bummed for losing. I actually told my friends, I was like, I kind of hope Oregon wins simply because I don't think I'll be able to sleep if Wisconsin beats a 10-0 number one team just to play in the Pinstripe Bowl or like the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, like some terrible bowl. That just would have been kind of insulting, but yeah, they ended up losing. George, like if your homie like Tsitsipas was facing, I don't know, prime Djokovic and Wimbledon or prime Nadal and Roland Garros, and he wins the first two sets, and you're like, wait, are we about to see something cracked right now? And then he gets to a tie break on the third set. You're like, oh shit, he's actually going to do it. And then loses at the end. So you're like, well, got my hopes up for nothing there. That was kind of a bummer.
That's actually exactly what happened in the final of the French Open in 21. Tsitsipas took the first two sets off Novak, and then Novak came back to win in 5.
Yeah, I know ball. You act like I don't know tennis ball. I wasn't making up a hypothetical. I was bringing up your past trauma. But no, it's like one of those where it gives you hope, and then when they actually lose, you're like, I mean, yeah, I was expecting them to lose the whole time, so I don't really know why I had to get my hopes up to kind of screw you for that. I would have rather you just lost easily. But kind of a great Cam, clap it up for us. Purdue and Wisconsin ball, like both kind of killing it this year. So we'll have, I feel like usually in our podcast rivalry, it's like
real sports.
Yeah, it's like whenever our two college football teams play each other, it's kind of lopsided towards me, and whenever our basketball teams play, it's lopsided towards you. So we might actually have like both
y'all
good
got
in
us
one same
year
sport
in the tournament, which in the Big Ten tournament.
But yeah, but
it was kind of it was one of those. I was happy we lost, so we didn't have to go directly into the
right.
but again,
yeah, really this is probably the least I know about a Wisconsin basketball squad since I entered college. Like I'm just not up to date. I'm not familiar with much of their names, but beat Arizona and Purdue obviously rolling as well. So we're both killing it there.
Yeah, that Tanji or Tanje, I forget exactly how to pronounce it, but that dude's a hooper. That dude's a baller.
Yeah, I'll have to start tuning in. I'm just too used to Wisconsin being just like a really ugly team to watch that kind of hurts your eyes. But yeah, just a week full of travel, busy, and then just gonna be chilling today. So what I've been watching, kind of been watching nothing but Peak this week. Haven't watched a lot, but my flight to Baltimore, I didn't watch anything because of the red eye, so sleeping since I had to work the whole day. But on the way back, watched a double feature of Inception and Tenet, which was kind of just like an all-time mind-bending Nolan plane trip of two movies. Yeah, total film bro move. So like my flight was Baltimore to Atlanta and then Atlanta to Phoenix, so kind of just like a perfect, one movie for each way. Actually, Inception had like an hour left of the 2.5 hours, so I had to watch that on my second leg. But yeah, Inception bangs. I liked it a lot more than I remembered, which is always great.
I will say I tried to turn on Tenet because of you this week. Like I was also on a plane, tried to turn it on the plane, and my screen broke. Unfortunately, yeah. So
that's a bummer.
Yeah, right. Like it would. I clicked on it twice. It gave me this film can't be watched or something like that. Clicked on it again, still the same message. Clicked on a different one, and then the screen just went black. And I was like,
so you weren't able to watch any movie on your flight?
No, because I was on Delta, and Delta hits you with the Paramount Plus is available on its Wi-Fi. So I was on. Okay. I watched Inglourious Bastards, but
there you go. That's another film, bro. Good plane watch. But I actually was gonna watch 8.5, the 1963 Federico Fellini movie. I think it's very highly regarded, highly rated. Watched it, got like 5 minutes into it, and I was like, this seems way too important. And like kind of like the first 5 minutes of that movie are so insane that I was like, there's no shot I should be watching this. I'm like for the very first time on like a seat back of a plane. So I'll go to something I'm familiar with. Inception, way better than I remembered. I mean, I still have always loved it, but better than I remember. The final hour is just actually just
so good.
Perfect. Like just absolutely perfect stuff. Nolan always knows how to end a movie. It's just such a bang. Just so many emotions. Great movie. I mean, preaching to the choir at this point, but hot take, Time by Hans Zimmer might be the greatest
good score
ever. I literally like wanted to like unplug my headphones from the seatback tablet and just like plug in my like JBL speaker and just be like, hey, everyone hearing this? Like hearing how great this shit sounds while we're in a plane, just like all just vibe to Hans Zimmer together. But yeah, great movie. Bumped it up from a 4 to a 5 star. So hell yeah. But I mean, that's probably like the 5th or 6th time I've seen it, if not more. And then right into Tenet. Tenet's just such a banger, man. Ludwig Göransson.
Good movie.
He crushed
Tenet's
it too.
A crazy plane watch, is it not?
Both of them are. I mean,
both of them are. Tenet especially, though. I feel like I'd be so sleepy trying to watch that movie.
Yeah, I mean, Tenet also, like a plane explodes in Tenet, so not always like the best to watch something like that. But I mean, it's on the ground. I guess they just drive it into an airport. But yeah, crazy movie. Robert Pattinson, I love him so much, man. He's so damn good, and that movie's just so crazy as well. And like, I don't know, Nolan just knows how to tie up these final hours, and he just plays with time in such a fascinating way. Like clearly that's like his main through point theme through most of his films. But yeah, Inception into Tenet, just his two. I mean, if I had Memento in there, if my flights were longer, that'd be like the 3 like film bro mind bending Nolan films. But yeah, Inception and Tenet, both 5 stars. Those two and Oppenheimer and Prestige. I don't know. Like so many Nolan films are 5 stars for me. And I think like the lowest film of his for me is like Following at like a 3 or 3.5. So good director, kind of hot take. And I'm tired of acting like we're not supposed to be like we're in love with them. We just got to openly. Yeah, he's a great guy. His next cast is just absolutely stacked, and it's already great stuff. But yeah, so I watched those two, and then Riley and I Friday night. So we dropped her mom off at the airport, and then we came home and we watched. So I tweeted, and I haven't logged on Letterboxd. I tweeted saying, watching one of the best films of the decade. Do either of you have a guess of what film?
Jurassic World Dominion.
I hold on. Because that's the thing. I don't know if it's a joke or if it's you actually watched one of the best movies of the decade. Babylon's the first one that comes to mind for you.
Yeah.
But you're also
Godzilla -1.
I'm gonna go with Oppenheimer because you watched 2 Nolans. Maybe you're gonna keep that Nolan streak going.
And then Cam, your guess is
Godzilla -1. Yeah, just something out there, different.
Yep. I like it. Actual answer: Avatar: The Way of Water. Avatar: The Way of Water.
Oh yeah, so you lied to us. Not one of the best.
No, that's bumping up to a 5-star and rewatch. That movie, which I haven't seen since it's probably been 2 years since I came on theaters.
Crazy.
That movie's so insane.
Good movie for sure, but nothing outside of the visuals do I care about.
Yeah,
Riley had never seen it, but she was bawling by the end of the movie, and I was crying too. I was like, "That's an emotional ass movie, man." But Avatar 3. I'm like so damn excited for that movie, and is it really like a year from now? Right? I think it's winter 25.
Doesn't he have movies for? Isn't Avatar 3, 4, 5? 2025, 6, and 7. Aren't they just back to back, or am I bugging?
Might be 2 years. I don't really know, but I know obviously there's a huge gap between 1 and 2. But I know they've been like filming like a lot of stuff simultaneously, so there's not going to be as big of gaps. But that meme going on TikTok, like I understand it now. I feel like that was he was waiting those 15 years to figure out how to get water to look right, and then he's like, I understand it now. And then now, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're all just banging out. He figured it out, and it's all simple.
Got it.
But yeah, that was incredible stuff. And then Penguin got as much as I could watch throughout the week while I was at work, and then when I was not with either in-laws or Riley. But again, I was planning on finishing last night. That's when I texted George. I'm like, let's see if we can get someone else on the pod, because stupid Wisconsin's making me feel like I have a chance of winning this game.
I thought we'd have all 4.
Yeah, so. We ebbs and flows of the pod, but it's still going to be a good pod nonetheless. And we'll talk to Batman, and we're obviously all well versed in that, so it'll still be a very fun pod. But that's kind of the week, been hectic. Don't travel for a few weeks now, but then I'll have some back-to-backs traveling. But and been watching Peak, so I'm on kind of a peak streak right now, just with film bro movies. And Avatar 2.
Film bro movies are peak. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. All right?
No, for sure.
They're all
don't let Twitter convince you that film bro movies are not fantastic.
Yeah, and it's like I know I'm not gonna like Emilia Perez, but it's like I feel like with the it's gonna get Oscar nominations, so it's like I'm gonna have to watch it eventually. But it's plain and simple gonna end my peak streak. So
trash.
Can I just have to bite the bullet?
So trash.
Yeah,
you might love it.
That's it for me.
Yeah, I'll go, and then George can talk. Mr. Red One, the most beautiful movie of all time. But also shout out our executive producers, Stefan Johnson and Devin Willett. I feel like my intro was a little scuffed just because we're playing by ear this week with the rundown and everything. So sorry about that. But yeah, George has a Red One review as well. And then some people may be asking Gladiator 2, like the locals of the UK, the overseas crowd. Unfortunately, you got 3 Americans here right now. George has seen Gladiator 2. But he's big time. So I have not. I don't think Tyler has.
We'll have the Glickhead next week.
We'll have Glickhead next week. It's out on F2 movies.
It is. And that was out before, Seth saw the UK.
Before the wide release.
You sent us that before I watched it.
Yeah. That's insane, man.
But speaking of Gladiator 2, real quick, credit to the Brits where credit is due. I saw both the BFI IMAX and the TCL Chinese Theater in LA both turned into like the Coliseum. And the BFI London is just like simply 20 times better looking as the Coliseum than the
Yeah.
Because I mean, the TCL Chinese theater already has like such crazy architecture, and they tried to make it in the glass. No, whereas BFI London's like already is circular. Like, you know, the Brits outdid us by a major way.
They got it. Normally we get the films first, but Gladiator 2 going to the UK first. So good for y'all. But yeah, so we'll do Glicked next week. We'll do some Wicked Gladiator 2. I've already got my Gladiator 2 tickets purchased, and this is like the first time, which, you know, Indiana, obviously I'm not fighting for tickets, but this is the first time I've bought them like 2 months out. And it's only because I got like the AMC like random notification that was like, hey, if you buy tickets now, you'll be entered to win a trip to maybe Greece. I forget exactly where, but I was like, 2 tickets, all expenses paid trip. Yeah, I'll use my AMC stubs list to get some tickets now. Normally I can get them like the day of, and I'll get perfect seats. But yeah, so I have my Gladiator tickets ready to roll. Myself, I also traveled this week. I was in the lovely Houston, Texas area. Wonderful weather, just wonderful weather. Shorts, t-shirts, not easy. Now I'm back in Indiana. It's like 40. It's supposed to snow on Thursday, I think. It's brutal out here, but the weather in Texas was awesome. I would not like living down south like year round, but this time of year, yeah, I'm all for that. So yeah, traveled.
It was Dallas area, right? Again,
Houston.
Oh, Houston. Okay.
Yeah. So it was good. Had a good week. Just got trained on some stuff for work. But then came back on my flight back, got a text from Emma that was like, hey, my dad has an extra ticket to the Purdue game tomorrow night. Do you want to go? And I'm like, holy shit, this is the greatest text you've ever sent me. I, of course, want to go. So really shout out my father-in-law, but also shout out my aunt and uncle-in-law, I think it would be, because it was their tickets. They got tickets through work. So they gave him their other tickets. And then he invited me, and I really appreciate that. Beat the Purdue basketball. We're back. Just college basketball in general is so back. Every other sport doesn't matter. You got great games every single day. It's beautiful. Triple overtime. I think it was like Chattanooga the other night. Just good ball. But yeah, Purdue beat the number 2 team in the country, Alabama. At home, it's hard to win at Mackey. I'd like to see, like, you know, what can we do on a neutral court, but CJ Cox, buy stock now, hit freshman, only had 1 major offer, banged 3 threes in a row, like in the face of Alabama's best defender, Mark Sears, just right on his fucking head. Just gave us the spark we needed. It was an electric vibe, electric atmosphere. I was very happy to be there. And then yesterday, almost as electric, countertops came in for the house.
Those look good.
So, yeah, big week for myself. Very excited. Emma's pumped. We're no longer using plywood as countertops. We have just more room now. It's awesome. We got it. Now we can start like getting a backsplash going and painting the room. And so that'll be, I'm here for that. I'm excited.
Am I crazy, or did one of Purdue's like starters get injured or no?
Yeah, so Daniel Jacobson was our 7'4" freshman phenom, like, you know, the new Zach Edey era. He broke his tibia in game 1 minute into game 2. So that was like the whole week. That was the big worry is, you know, before this, we haven't not necessarily been playing nobodies. We just played Yale, but like Yale's not great. We, you know, the whole week was worrying about how we're going to defend inside because Alabama's 3, 4, 5 are all 6'11" or 6'10". No, I think Cliff Amore is 6'11". So yeah, they're 6'11", 6'11", 6'10". And then our 3 is 6'3". When we go our normal lineup, and then we have the 7'2" Wilberg. Sorry, Wilberg. I am so out on you. If you're a ReelTok podcast listener, I'm really, really sorry. It's time to sit pine, buddy. It is absolute sit pine time. Yeah, that dude's bad. But yeah, so we defended the paint well. Trey Kaufman-Wren, 26, 8, and 4. That dude's a dog. Everyone forgot about him because he was playing next to Edey last year. He's a dog. Braden Smith, 17, 10, and 4 or 6. Dude's a dog, best point guard in the league. And then Fletcher Lawyer, just big game Fletch, 17, I think 6-2. He's just a hooper. Hit a big three to end half, like as time was expiring. Dude's a dog. We got a bunch of hounds on our team, and I'm amped. And then the freshmen and Miles Colvin, Cam Heide, we're all around. We're ballers. We're ready for the season. I'm very excited. We got Marquette on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Primetime television. Big game. I'm very excited. This one's at Marquette, so we'll see how we do, like going on the road playing a ranked team. But yeah, very excited for that, and just very excited for Purdue basketball. I'm back. Love last
shout out
year's game, but I'm
Countertops.
so back. Yeah, shout out Countertops.
I know football's a fake sport for you, but did you see the clip of like the Purdue wide receiver?
Oh yeah, awesome. Fuck Purdue football.
Perfect, like microcosm for the season. Just
Fire
hilarious.
Walters, man. We like I don't know, Tyler. You're probably not on Purdue basketball Twitter, but Purdue
I saw you
sports
retweet
Twitter
it though, or something, or say like we suck for being like the chants or something.
Yeah, so like the students got sent a message like they'll be kicked out if they chant Fire Walters at basketball games anymore, which is just such soft energy, such cowardice energy of your 1-9 football team. We might be 1-10 now. Your 1-10 football team is just absolutely awful and atrocious, and your coach should have been fired 6 months ago at this point. This dude sucks. He can't coach water into rain. I don't know. This dude's ass. Fire Walters, get him out. He shouldn't be allowed to see grass for the next 2 years. He should have to look at nothing but hardwood. Yeah, he's a bum. Bad coach. Fire Walters. He's not a kid, so I don't feel as bad saying fire him, get him off the court. Wilberg, just a kid. Feel bad, but he's really, unfortunately, not good at basketball. At least at the Big Ten level. I'm sure he'd kick my ass, but yeah, Fire Walters, bench Wilberg. That's my Purdue sports recap. George, how have you been this week? What have you been watching? And give us a little Red One review.
Yeah, I'll end with the Red One review. World Tour Finals. I'll keep the sports talk going. Tennis. The men's doubles final is going on right now, and don't sleep on tennis. Don't sleep on doubles. Doubles is very fun. But we got a rematch of the U.S. Open finals in singles at 12. Taylor Fritz against Jannik Sinner. So Yannick's going to win 0-0 probably and just walk through Taylor. But it's one of my favorite tournaments of the year. It's one that I love to tune into. I mean, I tune into a lot of tennis, but this is one of my favorites of the year. It's like that round robin, and then the top two from each group get into a semifinal. So it's just a lot of tennis for 1 week, and you just literally watch the top 8 guys in the world just play each other in circles, and it's a ton of fun.
How much do they care about this tournament? Because I haven't watched the men's as much as the women's, but the women's, I was like, feel like there's a lot of losses that should have not been losses. I just got the vibe. I was like, if this is a major, these results would be going a lot differently.
Yeah. So okay. The short answer is the men care a lot. The women don't care as much. And the reason I'm only saying this for this year. Last year, the year before, I would tell you that the women care a lot. Last year, the Women's World Tour Finals was in – it doesn't change every year, but it changes. The Women's World Tour Final was on like some Caribbean island, and it was the worst put together tournament that I've ever seen. Like genuinely, like stands were falling apart. The weather was just terrible for tennis. It was the worst tennis conditions I've ever seen, and these women were very vocal about it. Sabalenka, Iga, Coco, they still talk about it to this day, saying, I can't believe like that was allowed. And I think that experience last year, because it's relatively the same group of women. I think 5 of the 8 that played last year are playing this year again. So it's the same women that experienced that. And after that, I think that kind of just like turned them off to the World Tour Finals, where now it's like by the time the World Tour Finals rolls around for the women, their rankings are relatively secure just because they're not as close to each other in the rankings as the men are. So regardless of the outcome, Sabalenka is still finishing the world number 1. Iga is still finishing the world number 2. Coco 3. So the women, I don't think like necessarily care too much about it. It's a big tournament. If I move to the men's side, it's the 4 majors. Then it's probably, I would say, Indian Wells and the Olympics and the World Tour Finals. Maybe the World Tour Finals slightly below the Olympics and Indian Wells, but like it's right there as one of the 7 most important tournaments. Like most players would pick winning the World Tour Finals over winning 8 of the 9 Masters. Indian Wells being the only Indian Wells, I think, should be a major. That's just my opinion. And just make it the 5th major. But yeah, for the men, this is a huge tournament.
Majors. Want to give everyone a major these days. Georgia's America. Give everyone a major.
Dude, Indian Wells is so sick. I'm telling you, watch the tournament and you'll be like, yeah, this should be a major. Like, this is just such an electric atmosphere, man. Indian Wells is so sick. But yeah, World Tour Finals, you're also like, men are just so egotistical. Like, you put the top 8 men in the world in one tournament. So for everyone who doesn't know what the World Tour Finals are, it's an exclusive tournament. It's the last tournament of the year, and it is only for the top 8 players in the world. Novak did not play, so Alex de Minaur, who was ranked 9, took his spot. But still, top 8, yeah, you're good. My go-to. Top 8 players in the world. So for the men, it's just such an ego trip because, like, you're putting a round robin, 4 and 4. You play everyone once. Top 2 make it to the semis, and then you just play a tournament to win. And yeah, when you put the top 8 players in the world in one room and say one of you is going to come out on top, it's just such an ego-driven tournament, which makes it so much fun for me because they're playing tennis at the highest level. And it's only 2 out of 3 sets. It's not 3 out of 5. So it's kind of like there's so much more urgency in like those opening sets. It's not like Carlos or Yannick can drop the first set and be like, oh, it's okay. I have another 5 sets. I have another 4 sets to go. It's like, oh shit, I dropped the first set. Now Zverev or Taylor is 1 set away from winning. So it's a fun tournament. Men's finals should be going on right after this doubles finals. But yeah, that's outside of movies. That's what I've been watching a lot of this week. Week outside of movies was fine. I mean, most things I did were movie related outside of work. I went to a re-release of The Thing in 35 millimeter. Super cool. Movies are so electric. Like, sometimes I underestimate like how far and wide like movies travel. Like, it's not just our like film community that watches movies. Like, Sophie and I went to this re-release of The Thing. And the theater was packed, dude. Absolutely packed, head to toe. And I was like, this is sick. Like, this is a movie that came out in 1982, 42 years ago, and people are still packing a theater to see it. Like, that's so electric. And then even while watching the movie, I have to assume everyone in that theater has seen The Thing already. People were still laughing. People were still gasping. People were still ooh and eyeing. Like, it was just so much fun. And then Tuesday, we all went to it was just like an early screening of Gladiator, but they turned it into like it was an event sponsored by YouTube TV. So it was all influencers. That's it. Just all influencers. So myself and Alex, K Meeks, Sophie, my friend Hannah, and then I honestly didn't know any of the other influencers there, but we all kind of went as a group. They turned it into an event. So there was like photo ops and food. And then we obviously watched Gladiator, which was a ton of fun. Then relatively slower week movie wise, Victoria found out I had never seen any of the Cheaper by the Dozen movies. So we did a double feature last night.
Films.
Good cute films.
They're good.
They are good. They're not bad.
Cheaper by the Dozens, they're good.
I've never seen it. Victoria
you'd like them better if you saw them. Like,
that's what that's what
I watched it all the time as a kid. Good
yeah,
movies.
Someone
haven't
commented,
seen them since.
Yeah, someone commented on my 2.5-star review of the first one saying you clearly didn't grow up on this. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I didn't. I think it's the same thing with like National Treasure. Like, I gave it a 3 stars and everyone in my comments is like, what the fuck? Like, that's so low. But yeah, I didn't grow up on these movies, so I didn't have like that childhood nostalgia to hold up my ratings. But no, they were good. They were good movies nonetheless. I had a good time watching them. I mean, watching Steve Martin and Eugene Levy just go at it for an hour and a half is fun. Like these are two of the ultimate like comedy dads out there just in the same movie, just having a good time with each other. So that was fun. National Treasure, like I said, rewatched the first Fast and Furious movie. I don't really know why. I was just one night. It's
fun.
I like where this franchise started. Like genuinely,
yeah,
like
everyone does.
I said this in my letterbox review. It's just a stupid soap opera. Like some of the line deliveries are hilarious. Some of the things they say about cars make absolutely zero sense.
It's great. It starts with they're stealing a truck full of like DVD or not DVDs, VHS tapes.
Yeah, hilarious. And now we're in space 10 movies later. It's crazy.
It's awesome, man. It's
I watched the Christian Bale starring Equilibrium. Shout out our boy Alex. I know he rates this very highly. I thought it was just fine. It's just The Matrix. If The Matrix was half as cool. And then it's a whole movie basically about, I don't know if you guys seen Equilibrium, but basically like having emotions is illegal. So every member of this society is injected with something that suppresses their emotions. And if they show emotion, they are arrested as a sense offender, which I think is the funniest thing in the world.
It's kind of real, honestly.
That's
real.
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in a movie, calling someone a sense offender. But yeah, the whole movie was basically just like, emotions and feeling are necessary for a prospering society, and we need art and blah blah blah. And it was just, I don't know, it was all very on the nose. It was fine. There was some very cool action moments, and Christian Bale puts on a really good performance. But it didn't do as much for me as it seems to be doing for Alex. I know he's watched it 3 times. He went from a 4 to a 4.5 to a 5. So he very much loves that movie. Which I'm sure we'll talk about later, but all the news about the live action How to Train Your Dragon, all the first images came out this week, so had me itching to watch some Dragon. So I turned on How to Train Your Dragon the same night I watched Equilibrium. So I did a little Equilibrium, How to Train Your Dragon double feature. How to Train Your Dragon is so good, man. John Powell's score gets me every time. Test flight, that whole scene, I rewind it every time. There has not been one time I've watched How to Train Your Dragon where I have not rewound the test flight scene. It is so good. And then Red One. I'll talk Red One very briefly. Victoria and I on Friday had a nice little date night. We went to an Italian place on the Upper West Side, and then we watched Red One, because there's no better way to spend your Friday night than watching Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Chris Evans save Christmas. This movie is kind of exactly what you expect. I don't mean to sound ignorant towards film criticism, but anyone, I don't care who you are, if you're just a Letterboxd user or if you're a fucking writer for IndieWire, I don't care. If you're writing paragraphs on paragraphs about why Red One is a bad movie, you're doing too much. You're doing way too much. The movie sucks. We know. Stop doing what you're doing. It's too much. The movie, if you went into Red One expecting literally anything else, you're the stupid one. It is, and I know people that say this shit on Twitter just get ripped on, but I'm going to say it. If you go into this movie and just turn your brain off, you probably still won't have a good time, but you won't look at it as critically as you might look at like any other movie. Like, I don't know. I'm reading these long reviews on Letterboxd, and I'm like, this is too much for Red One. This is way too much. Stop doing this. But the movie's fine. Kind of exactly what you would expect. Dwayne Johnson plays Elf, extremely large and formidable. And Chris Evans plays.
Hell yeah.
So stupid, man.
Awesome, man.
And then Chris Evans plays like this global tracker, deadbeat dad. And someone paid him to find something, and while he found that thing, he like accidentally stumbles across the world of Santa Claus. I will say, I do I love like watching Christmas movies and seeing how each of them like approach the North Pole.
Mhm.
Red One, it's a military operation. Like truly, it's just a military base. They got shit on lock. They know what they're doing. Santa's in the gym, absolutely repping seated military press 315 for 8, which is just insane. Yeah, it's like it was the funniest movie, but at least like the way they showed us the North Pole was like kind of cool. Nick Kroll had like a very small role in this movie. He was the only one that understood what kind of movie this is, because The Rock, I gotta hand it to The Rock. He's
The Rock,
delusional.
I mean, it's as good as Oppenheimer.
Dude, he is. If I were that delusional, I'd be so much happier in life.
Yeah.
But a part of me has to respect him because he's giving 110% in this movie. Like truly, like he is giving 110%. Even Chris Evans is like just certain lines of dialogue, like he over dramatized. He like Nick Kroll, the only person in this movie that understood what kind of movie he was in. He was
awesome.
he was funny. He was so stupid. He was making like light of like a heavy situation. But yeah, I mean, bad movie. It looks as bad as you would expect. There are some relatively funny moments. Someone fact checked me on this, but I think Krampus, like the character design, is all practical. And if that's true, then that's cool. Like that was genuinely, he was like maybe my favorite character in the movie. He was cool. Super unnecessary. Absolutely did not need to be in the movie. His whole intro scene was just nonsense. I mean, the whole movie was nonsense. Don't get me wrong. Whole movie was nonsense. But yeah, I mean, it's the exact movie you would expect. It's the best 1.5 star movie you'll watch all year, maybe. I don't know. But I'll kind of end there on Red One. There's not a lot I need to say about Red One. But that was my week. I played some tennis yesterday. I went out to Long Island to play tennis with my boss and 2 other guys that work with us. I'm not even like the quality of tennis, just I'm physically so washed up. We played 2 hours of tennis, fairly tight match. It was a doubles match. Me and my partner came out 7-6, 7-5. So it was a tight match, heavy grind sesh. I'm in so much pain. Lower back, right shoulder, my knees. I'm in so much pain. Brother. I'm getting old, man. I'm getting so old and so unconditioned. It's unbelievable. I got to say, though, I was not the flex. I was serving like a madman yesterday. Sure. Through 2 sets. I only double faulted twice, which is crazy. Held all my service games. I was serving like a madman. All these prime fed highlights are really, really doing wonders to my game. But yeah, that's about it. Speaking of prime fed, I did watch the 2005 U.S. Open final last night after I watched Cheaper by the Dozen movies, or just the highlights, the extended highlights, so like 40 minutes. Great match. But yeah, that was my week.
I love it. All righty. I forgot. I also watched. I didn't mention anything I watched when I was talking my week, which is fine.
So locked into Purdue.
Yeah, I am. But I watched really great movies as well. Jurassic Park, Godfather, Batman, Dune Part 2, and Glorious Bastards went on a 5-run, 5-star streak. Big fan of those movies, man. They're good.
Are you not gonna? Don't you have an announcement of a new addition to the 100 out of 100 club?
Oh, I'm working on it. I think the bigger announcement is so Jurassic Park 100 out of 100. The bigger announcement, I dropped The Godfather a point.
Was that 100?
It was 100 out of 100.
Oh.
Yep.
I actually just removed my rating of The Godfather, funny enough.
Yeah, I watched
not like just now, like a couple days ago.
One of those movies that I just don't think about all the time, but like and then I watched it, I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. Again, I just like, if I'm changing my 100 out of 100 to be like my 10 movies, and then after I'm done with that, I no longer have to make a top 10 list. That'll just be my top 10 list forever and always. Because I never know it. So we're working through it right now. I think I'm up to like 8, maybe 9 actually. So I gotta.
Both Spider-Verse movies are hundreds, right, for you?
Yeah, both
Yeah,
Spider-Verse. The Dark Knight might drop.
Oh,
but I feel like
I feel like Seven Samurai might drop.
I gotta watch that one again. I feel wrong to drop The Dark Knight because I think The Dark Knight might drop simply because I've seen it too much in my life. Like, I'm not kidding. As like a, let's call it 15-year-old, 15, 16-ish, I probably watched it once a day. Like I adored that thing and I still do, but now I just can't watch it as much. Then The Lion King is up there as like I watched it so much with my niece and I just can't watch it. So I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm at. Spider-Verse might get there eventually because Spider-Verse.
You notice have 0 100 out of 100.
Yeah.
Criteria.
Yeah, movies are stupid, man. I'll never be on the side of don't rate, but man, when you get to the point of you're thinking about it too much, they're stupid. But yeah, Spider-Verse is the first movie I've logged double digits on Letterboxd across Spider-Verse.
Huge.
Next closest is Dune at like 6 or 7.
Spider-Verse is a double digit for me as well.
Yeah, Spider-Verse is good, and y'all ever seen that? It's pretty good.
It's not
bad. But yeah, those are good movies. We'll move on to the old. We'll move on to the main episode, I guess. We could talk a little bit of the Batman. I don't necessarily think we need a full review, but we could just kind of set the stage for where we're at in the Penguin. And then we'll move right on to the Penguin. So the Batman, I watched that this week. It's really good. Watched it this week. Because that was a movie I had downloaded already on my phone, like from like last flight I took. So when I got on the plane, I'm like, shit, I don't have anything downloaded. The Batman was there to save me. But the Batman, obviously Robert Pattinson. Let me pull up the synopsis just to do this a little bit more. The Batman Letterboxd. A little bit more official, I should say.
Depressed orphan dressing as Batman.
Yeah, it's the Batman, but unmasked the truth. In his second year of crime fighting, Batman uncovers corruption in Gotham City that connects to his own family while facing a serial killer known as the Riddler. The Batman's very down-to-earth Batman project, but it feels like at this point, every Batman project we've gotten is the down-to-earth Batman. So that's just kind of what we get. Stars Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Jeffrey Wright, Colin Farrell, Paul Dano, John Turturro, Andy Serkis, Peter Sarsgaard, just going through the list. Barry Keoghan pops up as the Joker at the end. Obviously, most people know the Batman, right? But I think what the Batman does best is it sets up Gotham as a character and Gotham as a universe a little bit better than any of the other projects do. Like when you watch the Dark Knight trilogy, while it's an amazing project and amazing movies, Gotham is just Chicago. That's like really all it is. But this like has Gotham. It's corrupt. You have the elite side, you have the poor side, and this may be like the Penguin also helps benefit this, but I think the Batman does a very good job as well. You're introduced to Colin Farrell's Penguin character. He's obviously like, I'd say he's more of a character, like more of a badass in the Batman than like in comics. I personally, like, I think like maybe not a badass, but he's smarter. He's like a more useful character, I guess the word would be. Like he knows what he's doing. John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. But yeah, you have the whole corruption. I don't necessarily know what all you want me to set up here with going into the Penguin. But do you guys have any thoughts on the Batman other than, it's very good, I assume you'll say?
It is very, I don't know how in depth we want to get on the Batman. I just put in the rundown, maybe just set it up for the Penguin, but obviously I'll take any opportunity I can get to talk about this masterpiece of a film. I think I've logged it 15 times on Letterboxd.
Crazy.
No. And let me tell you this. Sophie and I actually had this conversation on Monday. I've logged it 15 times. that is me watching it from start to finish.
Yeah.
I have probably watched like the first half a million times, and I've probably watched, there are so many times where like I'll finish a movie at night and then it'll be too early to go to bed. So I'll put the Batman on and then fast forward to like the last hour and a half and watch the last hour and a half. So the amount of times I've clicked play on the Batman far exceeds the 15 times I've logged it.
I respect that.
Yeah, I'm close to saying this is a better Batman movie than Dark Knight. I'm like almost there. Give me.
I was just about to ask how close is the gap nowadays?
The gap has closed. Give me one or two more watches of the Batman, and it might exceed. It might eclipse the Dark Knight for me. It really is just so good. Like Cam said, I think one of the things it does absolutely best is its portrayal of Gotham City. Shout out Greg Fraser. I really hope he returns in the Batman Part 2. Obviously, I'd love to see him on Dune Messiah as well, but I think I would prefer him in Batman Part 2 just because of how beautifully he has created Gotham City. But outside of just the aesthetic and just how like gothic and depressed Gotham looks, this movie just pulls so much inspiration from some of my favorite graphic novels, The Long Halloween, which is also something The Dark Knight pulls inspiration from. So big reason why I love these two movies as much as I do. Batman Year 2, Ego and Other Tales. I think these are some of the greatest Batman graphic novels that I've ever read. My Batman graphic novel bag is not that deep, but these are some of the greatest I've ever read, and I love that this movie is pulling inspiration from stories and characters and aesthetics that I really fucking love. I know a lot of people want to get back to the fantastical. Our good co-host Seth is always pushing for Clayface, which obviously I'd love to see Clayface. I'd love to see how they would do it. But I'm really happy that Matt Reeves has confirmed that the Batman Part 2 is going to remain grounded. I really do like that more detective storytelling as opposed to superhero storytelling. Obviously, Batman is a superhero, but he's significantly more of a detective in the Batman. And I love that in this movie, Matt Reeves really dove into the detective side of Bruce Wayne. Absolutely love it. I mean, I don't know how much that you guys want me to say about this. You guys know how much I love this movie. Everything just comes together so beautifully. Michael Giacchino's score, the aesthetic of Gotham, every single scene, just everything comes together so beautifully. Pattinson as a Year 2 Batman, I think, is brilliant. I think he plays that immature, maybe lacking confidence Bruce Wayne that we would like to see a little more of in these early years. Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale, I think, gave that to us a little bit in Batman Begins, but even still in Batman Begins, I think Bruce Wayne still pushes that billionaire persona a bit, where we haven't seen that with Robert Pattinson's Batman, and I'm excited to explore that more because that is a fundamental part of Bruce Wayne's characterization. How does he balance that billionaire persona with the nightlife of being this crime-fighting vigilante? But yeah, I love it. It's a dim-toned, impassioned Batman tale told in a beautifully atmospheric and psychological way. I love Paul Dano as the Riddler. I think he's fucking fantastic. There's no one in the world I think that plays the Riddler better than that character. And Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. It was just kind of just a bundle of beautiful castings. It's one of those movies, like there's not one element that I would change. On first and second watch of the movie, I was a bit more critical of the third act. Now that I watch it, I think that may be my favorite act. Yeah, I think it may be my favorite act outside of maybe like the opening monologue in the first 20 minutes. I think it is just so important to the character of Batman and kind of where we're setting him up to be in the Batman Part 2. So yeah, I love this movie. It's fucking fantastic. It is. It's really quickly climbing my like rank of favorite movies ever.
Yeah, I'll be with the schedule shifting around for Dune, Messiah, and Batman Part 2. It seems like hopefully Greg Fraser can do both. But watching the Penguin, it's like obviously he's not there, but it still looks gorgeous, and I think the way it's shot is great. Whereas what I hear from you, Dune Prophecy, sounds like the missing of Greg Fraser's a lot more impactful in that one. So, but I mean, Perfect World, I hope he's able to do both. I mean, Sayambu Muktipram is cranking out 4 movies a year. Greg Fraser, put the lenses on the camera, bro. Like start working a little harder. You can do more than one project in a year.
I agree.
But the Batman, I still haven't rewatched it since theaters, and it's always something that I want to throw on, but I just some reason can't commit. Maybe honestly, the rewatch of Avatar 2 will open my world because the Batman's 177 minutes. It's close to a 3-hour movie, and Avatar is over 3-hour movie. But I rewatched. I'm like, man, I freaking love this. But I think the runtime just put me out for the Batman, even though I do consider it. Cam, are we going to do like a quick Batman movie ranking?
Yeah, we'll do a quick top 10 Batman.
All right, cool. Yep. Just because I do think this is my favorite Batman movie, but I still haven't given it a proper rewatch since theaters. But that theater experience was like all timer, man. It was like exiting pandemic, everyone packed house, like the buzz in the air was insane.
When I tweeted this like a week ago, when Bruce when he was Batman actually in the moment, when Batman starts the Batmobile in that moment and you hear the
incredible,
my theater lost their fucking minds. Truly one of my favorite theater experiences ever. That was one of the first early screenings I went to, not one I was invited to, just one that I had it was like the AMC does like those fan early experience. Yeah. So it was just a bunch of Batman fans plus me, Victoria, and my parents. Dude, my theater was going crazy.
Yes. All-time theater experience moment for me. I had the early screening for it, right? Or it did maybe 24 hours early, like a Wednesday night kind of thing. I was working second shift at the time. So nights. So I took a vacation day because I had the early screening day. So I'm like, I'm going to this shit. Get to the theater, wrong day. So went into work, took the next day off. Correct day. But yeah, all-time theater experience for me of going into the theater on the wrong day, getting there, being like, I suck, reading the date wrong. But yeah, just
it's
hell yeah.
The opening 20 minutes are definitely my favorite for my only watch of it, but it's one of those, it's already a Mandela effect for people where how does the Batman open? Does it start with the Thursday, October 31st monologue? No, it's the
Riddler moment better than the Thursday, October 31st monologue.
Dude, Riddler moment is so cool. It
is one of those things where people misremember how it starts. But it starts it honestly starts the same way the Killer, David Fincher's The Killer does, where it's peeping through the windows, trying to see what's going on. But yeah, that's already going to be just a trivia 10 and 2034 type of question. What's the first line of the Batman? People be like, oh, it's Thursday, October 31st. It's no, that's actually
season 11 of the trivia 10.
That might be the first full line. No, because he gets on the phone. I was thinking if you're not counting the TV, I was thinking he doesn't talk, but he gets on the phone, and then you also hear the random yell. Awesome yell, Paul.
There's such a no need to yell in that moment.
Awesome yell, Paul. But I think it just shows how crazy he is. I one thing I really like about the Batman universe that they're doing is it's flowing so far, and what we imagine we're getting, it's not taking year jumps. You don't have any gaps to fill in. I like that. You're getting the Batman movie, and then the Penguin picks up, and the Penguin's looking
2 weeks later.
Yeah, you're looking over the city in ruins. I like that about it. And then the Batman 2 is supposed to pick up right after the Penguin.
A week after.
And we'll talk the finale. It's very clear that what's coming.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but why has no franchise or universe
ever
thought of doing that before?
Because I think
I love that so much. You fire up Penguin episode 1, you're we're just continuing the story. Then like you said, I haven't gotten through the Penguin, but it's very apparent based on social media. The Batman 2 is supposed to pick up basically right after.
Yeah.
So why has no one done that before?
They did that for Bat Begins into the Dark Knight. There's not that much. There's basically zero time jump between Begins and the Dark Knight. But then between the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, there's a 10-year time jump.
Yeah.
But that was the intention of those movies. They wanted to do a more graphic novel Dark Knight Returns kind of thing, where he is an elderly, older.
I get that.
I'll say, yeah. But I love that the fact that it's been 3 weeks in this universe.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. That's awesome.
That's sick.
The Batman, great movie. I like that it's more grounded. I get it. It's kind of
they're all grounded at this point. I've decided.
Yeah,
other than Batfleck, they're all grounded.
But even that, like Snyder didn't fully get to the point to where like Batman was straight up facing off against these fantastical villains.
He's facing off against
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Right, but I'm talking about like that's like one movie. I don't know. I feel like people are wanting like a Batman
nightmare sequence.
He fights Superman. I think at some point, like Superman,
he does in BVS. Yeah,
fair.
He does.
But
fight.
you know, I think Gunn will give us some more fantastical side. So we'll get fed in both directions here. But
I think it's just hard to do a Batman in live action against an overpowered. I think Batman v Superman actually does a pretty good job with it. Of like he's got all these things prepared, which is good. The movie's not, but like that fight isn't bad. The Martha moment sucks, but
chill.
I just
why did you say that name?
It's whenever I watch like an animated project, and I always say animation's better than live action. Or if I haven't, now I'm going to start saying that. You have the ability to do like a Batman that you just like. I was watching Under the Red Hood a while back. Like Batman jumps from building to building. You can't really do that in live action, right? Like in an animated project, you watch it, and like, yeah, that's fun. In live action, you can't really do that. So I think it's definitely harder to make a more like what's the word, like superficial or supernatural Batman in live action than it is animation. So I think it's easier to go the grounded route. But yeah, I think so. The Batman introduces Oswald Cobblepot as the driver for Carmine Falcone. Obviously, the movie goes through Rata Alada, Flightless Bird. What is the
Riddler stupid or something? It's
La. Am I the only
Rata?
one? Yeah. Colin Farrell's so good in this.
Dude, he's so good. It's crazy.
Carmine Falcone is killed, leaves obviously leaves a corruption like gap. Like there's a lot of room for the taking after this. The Riddler floods Gotham. Very hilarious. And it's just like it's talked about a bunch of like how the Riddler's plan is so dumb because he just floods the poor neighborhoods and stuff. And that's like the idea of like, yeah, he's just this idiot serial killer kind of thing. This madman who doesn't really have a full thought out plan, even though he thinks he's so smart. And then, yeah, we're taken right into the Penguin. So Carmine's just died. 2 weeks have passed. Like George said, it opens up episode 1 after hours. So we'll go episode by episode. I don't know. Do we want to I don't think we even need to give high level thoughts. The Penguin's.
I'll let you two drive this one.
We've all been posting on TikTok and Twitter.
Yeah,
everyone knows our spoiler free thoughts.
Yeah, the Penguin is good. Sorry, and Colin Farrell's good. That'll be our thoughts.
Our spoiler free thoughts.
Yeah. So we'll go episode by episode. Opens up 2 weeks after. Oz is basically looking out into the Gotham City that's flooded. He's at Carmine's what is it, his house or his apartment?
I think it's the house. Yeah.
Is it the club?
I think above the
it's above the iceberg.
The iceberg lounge, is where he resides.
So yeah, we open up with him just looking out. He's stealing stuff from Carmine's valuables, just basically information, right, of a lot of people that Carmine has dirt on. That's kind of the almost the crux of the show is that he has all this dirt on people. He's able to manipulate a couple people here and there, and we'll talk through that later. He's found by Alberto Falcone, who's the new heir to the Falcone empire. And Alberto, very clearly just this asshole, prep school kid that's been given everything his whole life, doesn't really know what he's doing. He's a drunk, an addicted person to the drops. So yeah, he's just kind of this dick. He's giving a lot of shit to Oz. And then Oz shoots him.
So much shit, bro.
Yeah.
I would have done the same.
And it's a good like Oz is not a confident person. Like he's confident in his knowledge, but he's not confident in his appearance or like who people think he is, right?
Yeah.
So that's like just shows like how unhinged he is when people start making fun of him. He fires so many bullets into him too. It's like 6 or 7. Just bang, 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 bang. Very funny.
That's the first scene of the show, which is just insane. Because what does Carmine call the Penguin at the end of the Batman? Calls him a gimp, right?
Yeah.
So this is like, you have to imagine, this is not even a couple days later, where now his son is basically saying like, you really think you're going to become that big of a man where people are going to remember your name? And then he just unloads around into his chest, and immediately I was like, wow, we're going there. And then he does that the all-time TikTok edit of just him sitting in the chair diabolically laughing after doing that. I was like, damn, he is not a good person. And dude, shout out, and we could talk about this throughout the entire rundown of this, but shout out Blu-ray Angel, because he tweets a lot of stuff, but he tweeted something that I was genuinely like, wow, that's a really good point that I didn't even think of.
He's not dumb. He's not dumb. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. He basically tweeted everyone on Twitter after the finale of, and I'm not going to spoil anything now, by the way, but everything after the finale, people were basically like, what made this movie, what made this show so successful? There's basically no character to root for. Like, why is this show so good and so successful? And it's exactly that. We are so accustomed to like the sympathetic villain nowadays.
I agree.
100%. And they just made Oz a piece of shit. Even when we get to his flashbacks, he's just a piece of shit from a young age.
I think
go.
Sorry to cut you off. Colin Farrell's done a famous interview at this point, or I've seen it clipped on TikTok a bunch, especially after the ending is like
that no one's gonna like him after.
Yeah, he's like, episode 1, he's fine. Episode 2, you're starting to be like, this guy kind of sucks. Episode 3 is this guy's not very nice, and then by episode 8, you're like, this guy sucks. I'm mad he won.
Sucks. Yeah,
like everyone should have lost, like, and they make it where the villain is a villain, and that's new sick. And that's different, and it's one of those things that's like, how hard is this, guys? How hard is it? How hard is this, Sony, to make your villains villains? You know,
like even the Riddler to a point. Like, obviously, no one's rooting for the Riddler, but like, you at least give him that background of being fucked over as a child in the orphanage because of renewal and what Thomas Wayne was going to try to do to the city.
Yep. But I like also that like Oz doesn't really have a traumatic backstory, really. Like Oz is the reason for his traumatic backstory, like he's the one that, and we can talk it more when we get to, I think it's episode 4. No, it's episode like 6.
It's later on.
It's later on.
Not even traumatic. Like he wanted. We'll talk about.
He caused the trauma.
We'll talk about
trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll get to it. Like you said, I just think like this show does so well at. It doesn't make you truly hate him until the final episode.
Yeah.
So like you have a sense of like rooting for him until things start getting revealed.
Like the first 5 episodes, it's like he's the best of a bad situation. Like I don't want him to win, but I don't want Salvatore to win. I don't want. I mean, I kind of did. I really did.
You kind of do want Sophia.
I wanted Sophia to win everything, dude. Yeah. I don't care. But
you knew she wasn't going to.
Yeah, you had a feeling. I don't know if we know the answer to this. It's been confirmed she's in the Batman 2, right? Like that's a lock. Yeah. It has to be. Right?
It's a lock, but it has not been confirmed. She's done interviews that are like, yeah, I'd love to return as this. This is awesome. I'm glad like I have the opportunity to come back if it works out.
Okay, then forget my second question. My second question was going to be, when was it confirmed?
No, I don't think it ever was. I don't think it has been yet. But just we'll talk it. So after he kills Alberto, we're introduced to Victor, played by Vic, played by Renzi Feliz, who was in Marvel's Runaways, an Marvel TV show that I watched like an episode of when it first aired. And even my dumb 15-year-old brain even knew it was bad. Just really a not good show. But that's what I know him from. He's in a gang or a group of people trying to steal tires from Oz's car. Everyone else gets away. Oz is going to kill him, but he has a stutter. And obviously, like, it's very apparent that Oz like feels for people with disabilities, because Oz has the, limp walk, and he obviously like thinks this is why he's probably like not making it where, in his life, or he thinks his disability has been holding him back. I think I took that from it. Like, even as a kid, it's something like he thinks he's a loser, or like his mom doesn't like him because he has the limp. And so like, it's very obvious. He takes Vic under his wing a little bit, under his penguin wing. And he's basically like, if you don't help me out, I'm going to kill you. So you might as well help me out. They grow throughout the series, but that's when we're introduced to him. Then we're introduced to Sophia Falcone, who is released from Arkham because we later learn that Alberto put her there. And then once he's dead and not Alberto, Carmine put her there. Alberto gets her out. So that's why she's released all of a sudden after 10 years. She's pretty confident that Oz is responsible for Alberto's disappearance. I forget exactly why. I didn't rewatch the series, but he slips up or does something that I can't remember why. Can you? The little kid. So one of the members of the gang said, or the group that Victor was with, is who she has and kills before she tortures him in episode 1, right?
Yes,
yeah.
right.
So so he tells her, he's like, because he has a purple Maserati. He wants it to be something that people know him for, is like, I've got this nice car. And she's like, the thing about purple is it's a very hard car to miss. And he knows. So yeah, that kid from the group that Victor was in remembers the purple car, and she puts 2 and 2 together, obviously. So that's how she knows. So Oz, you're introduced to his mom. You understand that she has some dementia going on, and he really cares for her. At least you think he really cares for her. But we'll talk that as we get through. So this episode does so well at adding characters in that we haven't met and just expanding the universe, because you also meet Salvatore Maroni and Blackgate. I believe Oz offers him the offers him the Carmine Falcone drug ring. And he says no, I believe.
No, because Oz gives him his ring back that Carmine had took.
Yep. Nice.
Which kind of like convinced him, like, okay, like, I don't trust Oz, but this is a good opening gesture.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Because Oz is playing everybody, right? Oz is out thinking everyone. He's playing everyone. And then Sophia captures Oz, torments him. That's again when we learn the kid remembered his purple car. She catches him, and then Vic, Vic sends a car. It crashes outside of the Falcone estate. And that's when you see Alberto's body. He's planted the ring, or the finger is gone, right, as a symbol of like Maroni's,
to make it seem like Maroni did it.
Make it seem like Maroni. Oz released and begins, his plotting of what he's going to do next, right? Him and Vic. This is when you get the 9-to-5 shot of them looking over. I think they're not at Crown Point at this point, because it's in ruins, basically. But they're looking over Gotham City. Oz and Vic are becoming friends. And the first episode, very good. Just kind of sets up the episode or the series for where we're at. Are there any points about the first episode, I guess, that I missed?
No, nothing narratively, but like you said, just awesome opening.
Great intro.
Awesome opening. I remember Twitter like blew up after that opening. Just people just like stunned that, like, literally from the opening scene puts a round into Alberto's chest, and then everything just unfolds so well. You get Sophia coming into the picture, Vic stepping into the picture, immediately introduces Salvatore Maroni, which a lot of people speculated, because we knew he was going to be in the show, just didn't know when he was going to show up. And I personally certainly did not expect it to be episode 1. And then, like you said earlier, this version of the Penguin is so much more like calculated. He's so much more manipulating, whereas like Danny DeVito's was certainly like he leans towards gangster, but it comes off a little, just not as prepared, I guess. Whereas this Colin Farrell's version of Oz,
DeVito comes off as just gross. I think. Like, weird, gross person.
Yeah, this guy is just.
And I think they tried to do this in the Gotham show as well. I just think the Gotham show had a lot of things fighting back on it, with it just not being like an amazingly written show and not being like an amazingly lit show, cinematography, directing. Like it was kind of a B tier show. None of it horrible, but the writing is not as good as here. The acting's not as good, in my opinion. I forget who plays Oz in the Gotham show. I actually liked Gotham for a while. It got not great as it went.
I need to watch it.
Yeah, I liked it for a while. And you see things, people always want. You get the Court of Owls, you get Joker, you get everything really. So it's not bad. One of the worst Batman suits of all time. It's supposed to be like
I've
an
seen
intro.
those images.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like an intro to Batman, obviously, but just one of the worst Batman suits of all time. So yeah, moving on to Inside Man, episode 2. Oz and Maroni continuing their partnership. Falcone drop shipment is taken by the Maroni. They help take a drop shipment of the Falcones, right, with the Maroni's crew, and Oz works through it. Carmine's brother Luca arrives, and he's kind of like, now he's like the head of the family, right, because they still don't really trust Sophia. You meet, I believe this is when you meet Sophia's like doctor, who we get a little bit more info on, but she obviously has some PTSD and stuff from Arkham. You meet her doctor. I forget his name exactly. I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually, but he's not. We can talk him a little bit more as we go. I think he was maybe set up to be something else. We'll see if he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not exactly sure. So one of the Falcone drops. She works with the GCPD, a corrupt detective, to figure out exactly what happened with the heist. You're introduced to Maroni's wife, Nadia. I believe in this episode. Ervod, is that
one of Maroni's guys?
Maroni's henchman, right? I'm trying to remember exactly Maroni's brother or son's name. I can't remember right now, but yeah, Ervod is a captured person. So they have a big funeral for Alberto. Oz is still in the group, still in the Falcone group. They don't know he's truly working with the Falcones just yet. So Oz is still working with Vic, tells him to plan an evidence to frame Johnny Vitti in his car. He gets captured doing that, or not captured, but they see him.
They see him, yeah.
And he just like runs away basically.
Yeah.
So
which leads to, and I'm sure you'll say it, but that's when Oz has Vic digging those graves, making it seem like it's Vic's grave that he's digging is hilarious.
Insane.
Just, dude, Oz is like, he's so funny because like he wants Vic to succeed. He wants Vic to like learn this world, but he doesn't want to do it like in like a polite way. He wants Vic to understand that like the real world is like this piece of shit and you got to do this stuff to succeed. So he's got this poor kid digging these 2 graves thinking it's for him.
Yeah. That's just absolutely crazy doing that. And imagine digging that. And then so that grave is for Ervod, who Oz kills, basically to ensure like no information can be gotten out of him, right? And he makes Vic lay down in the grave with him. Like he doesn't use the grave, but he's like, this is what you are. With me, you could be great, right? This is what you are. You're nothing to them. You're nothing to anyone, kind of thing. And obviously, like, yeah, not a good person. But like we said before, during this episode, you're thinking like, yeah, he's an asshole. We know he's a villain, but he's doing this so that Vic can get a little bit more confidence and can become his next hand man, right? Luca kills Castillo, denies Sophia his like vengeance because she wants the vengeance on Alberto.
Yep.
Orders her to leave the family business. And then her and Oz share a moment of talking about his brothers and his mom a little bit, like of them passing. And she starts to really trust Oz at this point, I believe, right? So after the funeral, her and Oz seem like they're on a side together, or at least that's what he thinks.
Well, because at that point, Sophia does not fuck with Johnny Vitti, does not fuck with anyone.
No one in the Carmine Falcone family.
Yeah, and she just wants to rebrand herself. So I think she, at this point in the show, she sees Oz as like an opportunity. Like, okay, this guy's got a lot of information. Like, maybe I can use him to my benefit.
Yep, and she thinks his name is completely cleared from the death of Alberto because of the Maroni switch that he does. This and I was looking at IMDb scores. It's the lowest rated of the show. I think it's the weakest episode. Not bad.
Is 4 or 8 the highest?
8's the highest.
8's the highest.
Yeah. Okay. So After Hours 8.8 out of 10 on IMDb, 8.5 for Inside Man. This definitely for me, I'd have it lower than that. It's the weakest in my opinion. Not horrible by any means, but definitely the weakest. Moving on to one of my favorites, actually, is Bliss. So Bliss is the episode where you get a little bit more backstory on Vic, more information on him. So you get his kind of not origin story, but basically his origin story he's got a loving family, a happy family. They live in Crown Point, right? And you kind of see him hanging out with his girlfriend. He's this kid that has the stutter, doesn't have a ton of confidence, obviously, all that jazz. And then the seawall breaks, entire place is flooded, his family is killed, unfortunately. And that's the backstory you get on him. So you kind of get a feel for who Vic is a little bit more, and just how he's come to be, in this group where he's trying to steal tires and stuff, and just
which is also just so sad because like the end of the Batman, like they make the flooding seem so like as a way to move forward and prosper, as a way to like a rebirth kind of energy they give it at the end of the Batman. And then you knew the Vic flashback was coming, and they turned it into like, the Riddler fucked a lot of people. Like a lot,
and not the right people either.
And not the right people at all. Like Crown Point is probably the last place the Riddler should have touched.
Yeah, exactly. Like he tried to flood like the rich neighborhoods and just failed miserably. And like all the rich neighborhoods get aid and everything, but the Crown Point, like we found out later, like doesn't have any power, just is being run by the people who are controlling the drops operation. Just nothing useful going on there. So now jump back to present time again. Sophia and Oz working together. Oz and her are working on mainly her working on a new drug called Bliss. Basically something she got from Arkham when she was in there. And so they're trying to pitch to the triads, to the more powerful groups, right, who are pushing the drugs to distribute the Bliss rather than distributing the drops. They refuse because they want the support of Vitti, the head of the house, right? Johnny Vitti, classic name for a like Italian mob man, right? Johnny Vitti. So they want Vitti. They blackmail him because he's having sex with Luca Falcone's wife.
Hilarious.
Hell yeah. Yeah, just classic too, like why do that? Just you're dumb. But so they blackmail him. The triads enter the business with Oz and Sophia. And so then basically the episode pursues, they're about to sell this Bliss drug. Vic is kind of in charge with like selling it, right? I think he's he's got a bag and he's supposed to walk around the club and give it to people. Vic is kind of grappling, like after you get the flashback, right? His girlfriend, or what could have been his girlfriend, still alive. She basically asks him to leave with her. And
should have left, man.
He should have left. Yeah, right.
Should have left.
He does the classic, drives to the bus, sees her getting on the bus, and just can't leave. I think was this before or after Oz's speech to him? I think it was after, right? It definitely was after. So Oz gives him the big speech of like, "You're nothing. Who do you think you are? You're nothing. You can. Do you want to be something, or do you want to be nothing for your entire life?" And he thinks like Vic's gonna like kill him or something. I think it's made to like look like Oz is gonna kill Vic.
Yeah.
In this moment, because he's leaving, but he lets him leave. He's like, "Fine, you can be nothing. I saved you." And so he lets him leave. And then he goes, and then he realized maybe he doesn't want to be nothing.
Yeah.
So then you flat jump back to the club after Vic is not going to leave. You jump back to the club. The Maronis, sorry, there's so many Italian names I got to remember. The Maronis show up. Sophia and Oz are captured, and basically the Maronis are like, "What the hell? You're selling these brand new drug. You didn't tell us anything about this. You're giving us this. You're two-sided. You're going to die now."
Yeah.
And so Sophia is hearing this. She's pissed. Maronis are pissed. And then Vic Man back
pulls up, catches his
up.
first body.
Yep. Kills a person with a car. Obviously the chaos, like Oz is able to escape. So he makes it through.
Leaving Sophia.
Yeah. So leaving
Which
Sophia.
you kind of knew he was going to do. Once the Maronis pulled up and kind of unpacked everything and realized, okay, he's working with Sophia. Sophia realizes he's working with the Maronis. He lost everyone in a matter of 10 minutes. He lost all of his allies.
Yeah. It's awesome because right before this, you do have like a touching emotional scene with Oz and Sophia about like, she's like, "I don't know how to trust you." And he's like, "Why don't we try starting here or something?"
Yeah.
I think that's the general idea of what he says.
Just goes back to how fucking manipulating this man is. Like he can lie so easily, like just so out of his ass. It genuinely reminds me of with Josh Hartnett in Trap. Just like how easily he can lie and how psychotic that mentality is.
Yeah. Awesome. And you'll see it like more throughout the show. We'll talk it as well. Like he's just lying through lie. It's awesome. And we just can't give enough props to Colin Farrell. Like acting through all of that makeup is insane.
So good, dude.
But yeah, basically Oz gets in the car and he's like, "What about Sophia?" And she's like, "Leave her. Leave her. And then the episode ends. And that's episode 3. And then I think the show flips a switch here on episode 4 and becomes like it's been really good. Not amazing, really good. Or honestly, at the time I was thinking it's amazing, but as you look back on these episodes, Centani is really when the show
where it flips.
Flips a switch. Centani, I think, is the best
tone. Episode. Oh my god, everything. This episode is so good.
Am I pronouncing that correct as well?
I think so. Centani.
Yeah, I think I'm pronouncing that correct. I didn't know if you're Italian would help us out there.
No.
No, you're Greek. My bad.
Greek, yeah.
My bad. That's on me. Forgetting my boys'
nationality,
cultures. Yeah, my bad. But yeah, so Centani episode is what I believe to be the best episode. So it's basically a Sophia Falcone episode. And this is what you need to do, right? You have to give your characters backstory episodes if you've introduced them. And you have to make them matter. You have to make them related to the story and important enough and also good, right? Because I feel like a lot of shows give you backstories. Not a lot of shows give you good backstories.
Well, this is why I think that the show takes such a massive left turn in this episode, because Vic and Sophia, they were players prior in episodes 1 and 2, Episode 3 gave us Vic's backstory, obviously not to the extent of Sophia's, but that's kind of, and then he has that powerful conversation with Oz in the bathroom, and you're like, wow, like Vic is a player. He's a real player in this show. He's not just like a supplemental character, blah, blah, blah. Then you get to episode 4, and you're like, holy shit, is this Sophia Falcone's show, or is this the Penguin's show? Like, who does this show belong to? Because that energy even carries through episodes 5 and 6, where Sophia is top billed right there with Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Like, this is her show, which just makes it so much more interesting, because now you have this whole other like dynamic you have to worry about. She's not just a 1-2 episode character that just moves Oz as a character forward. She is, for 3 episodes straight, the main character. Yeah. Which just makes it so interesting, because now not only are you thinking about Vic, Salvatore, Francis, but you have everything going on with Oz and then everything going on with Sophia at the same time. This is just like, I said this when we reviewed The Bear. What I think The Bear does so well, and I even said this when we reviewed X-Men 97, what I think all 3 of these shows do so well is giving you a reason to care about every single character. Yep. And this dude, episode 4 is so good.
And that's what you need to do, right? And we haven't even mentioned, like, just we said Sophia is great, but we haven't even mentioned, like, Kristen Milioti is so goddamn good in this thing. Like, incredible. So amazing in this show. I've been on her
Emmy nomination, man.
Oh yeah. I've been on her since I'll say How
Palm
I Met Your
Springs.
Mother.
Oh, How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, I loved How I Met Your Mother. I loved her as the mother. Should have never been killed off. Obviously, like, Palm Springs is my big, like, I support her movie, but she's also the Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street, smaller role. This is Kristen Milioti saying, "Yo, this is what I'm good. I'm good."
Yeah, like, I think we're about to see a renaissance of her.
She's
I really
good.
do.
This whole dude, everything about this episode, everything of her in Arkham, everything with her and Carmine, it is so phenomenal. This episode just unfolds so goddamn well.
Yeah. So I just can't shout her out enough, really. Like, we say Colin Farrell's great. I think she's better than Colin Farrell in this, I'll be honest. I think she's the best part of this show. And I think that's what makes the show so great. Like you said, is just giving you characters that you care about. I really just, that's what makes any show great. Right.
Yeah.
But so, it's the flashback episode of Sophia. A reporter suspects that her dad is the hangman, a serial killer who's been strangling women and hanging them. And then, like, it flashed back even more to her mother, who has died under the same circumstances. Sophie is, like, freaking out, meets with the reporter privately. Oz is her driver. And this is kind of like, you start to understand, why is Oz trusted so much with the Carmine, with the Falcones? This is why. So Carmine basically frames Sophia for being the murderer, and tells Carmine, hey, Oz tells Carmine, hey, your daughter's meeting with reporters about this, because she remembers her mother was hung, and her dad kind of walks in. Like, she finds her mom, and her dad walks in and isn't. And by the way, Mark Strong replaces John Turturro in this one as Carmine, and I think he does a good job. John Turturro, I think, would have been better. And it's hilarious interview where John Turturro says, as he read this script, it was like more about killing women, and that's not something he wanted to do. He choked Selena Kyle out in the Batman.
That was the most virtue signal response you could have had. It's so funny.
Yeah, just hilarious. And like, I get it. Like,
Twitter reacted to it exactly how you would expect, with just endless stills of that scene where he's choking out Zoe Kravitz,
his own daughter. Yeah,
jokes.
Just hilarious. Just absolutely hilarious. That quote. Mark Strong does well. I like Mark Strong. I think he's good in everything. So he does well. It's not a bad replacement by any means. But yeah, so, and then she tells him that she tells him that she saw the scratch marks on his arms, right?
Yep.
When he comes in, because he's kind of not fazed by his mom or his wife at the time being hung, right? So then she goes into Arkham. You meet Dr. Ventress, who I've looked into a little bit. Like Ventress is possibly Mirror Man, not the same as Mirror Master. So Mirror Man just creates a machine that enables him to see through objects. So yeah, just not Mirror Master. Doesn't use mirrors to enter like the mirror realm and stuff. But yeah, that never confirmed in this. I just, anytime you get a name of a character, that's not like blatantly from Batman. It's like some tease into something, right?
Yeah.
So she's doing electroshock therapy, basically they're basically making her crazy, right? Julian Rush is another. That's the doctor I was talking about earlier. Yeah. Julian Rush realizes that Sophia's innocent, and tries to kind of work with her. There's a character named Magpie that they introduced for like 10 seconds. It's like her cellmate.
So funny.
Such a classic, like not Harley Quinn, but is Harley Quinn character, right?
Just the last character I would have ever expected to see in this show.
Yeah, just absolutely crazy. Just a crazy girl. And Sophia kills her and just beats the shit out of her and kills her because she's going insane with the electroshock therapy and everything.
Dumps on her. Holy shit. Puts her face into a cafeteria table.
Yeah. There's another character she kills. The character that wants to stab her with the fork, right?
No, doesn't that girl kill herself?
Yes. Yeah, she kills herself. Yes.
That girl kills herself, which in the moment I thought they were going to use to frame her.
Yeah.
Which they did. That girl was just psychotic. That girl just wanted to die.
Probably because she was made to be psychotic in Arkham. Batman should take a look into Arkham.
That's what I'm saying. He's got to go there once or twice,
Yeah, right. He's like, he puts a lot of people there. He should check in on it, right? Because Arkham's crazy.
Dude, a 6-month sentence extended to 10 years. I'd be psychotic too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'd be going crazy too.
I'd be losing my mind as well.
So she gets out because of Alberto, right? We mentioned, but now, so after this moment, flashes forward. You don't really see the rest of her Arkham stay. Probably not great, but flashes forward to present day when Oz has left her. I forget exactly what. I think after just all the chaos, like she grabs a gun and starts shooting people and gets away. But calls Julian Rush, is like, hey, you got to come pick me up, right? Sophia basically decides that nobody can be trusted. She is one of one. She is going to lead this family. Not even her sister-in-law, I think or not sister-in-law. It'd be aunt-in-law, because I think it's her dad's brother's sister or dad's brother's wife, right? Doesn't trust her and has a daughter who isn't allowed to talk to her, and they all think she's the hangman still. They've all just believed this narrative, even though they know it not to be true. And that's something she really hangs up on, is it not to be true. She gives a big speech, really good speech.
Had to have won her an Emmy in that entire sequence, dude. Standing up in front of the entire Falcone family, gives this 5-minute monologue. Unbelievable, dude. Because you could just feel like it's pain, it's the want for revenge. She wants to kill these people. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and thank God for a moment you kind of knew where the episode was heading. Like you knew something was going to happen. I really thought that she was going to hang all of them, but then in my mind I was like, that would make it too obvious that it was her. Like I
love the way she did it, as she's not like a crazy murderer that's going to go around shoot everyone, right?
No.
Like she's not like this maniacal person who's just going to go murder everyone. She's this well-constructed person who's just going to do it in a very subtle way. She releases gas throughout the house at night. She takes her cousin's young daughter. So Gia is her cousin's youngest daughter. Into the greenhouse, and they sleep there for the night.
Maybe I'm fucked up. I thought she was gonna kill that girl. I thought that's who was going to die.
Yeah, I don't think I
Like,
ever thought that, but
yeah,
I
thought
understand.
that.
Definitely
I
made
really
it seem
thought
like that, right?
after that episode, that because like this episode established the very like dark and like sinister tone of like these characters and this environment. So I was like, wow, are they really going to go like this insanely psychotic route right now and just like have her kill this young girl? Which
Yeah.
thankfully did not happen.
Yeah, yeah, obviously. I like that in this frankly, after back to the speech, I'm shocked they didn't like make her leave the house. Like she was allowed to like stay in the house. Like I'd be like,
I would have been
outta
like, get the
here.
fuck out.
Yeah, right.
Do
So her
not-
entire speech is basically about how I was innocent. All knew I was innocent, and you all still turned on me because of this family name that we hold so dear and so idiotically.
I would have politely asked her to step out of my house.
Yeah.
There's no way she's sleeping.
You need to leave. But yeah, she goes up to her room or goes up. Well, I like that she goes up to a room, we'll call it, opens the window, and that's really all you see. Right. And then she takes Gia down to the greenhouse. They sleep there. How she's able to get Gia out of the house is insane. Like, where's the security? But then, gasses the entire family except Vidi, who is in the room she opened the window, right? And she basically takes him away at gunpoint, which is awesome. Because you know what's coming next.
Yeah,
right?
I can't wait till the next episode, man.
Yeah.
That genuinely, I think we're thinking of the same thing. One of my favorite.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
In this show.
But just like what an awesome on this episode, what an awesome, cliffhanger almost of like what's she gonna do next? She's insane, and what's she gonna do with this guy?
And then also just as like a character, last thing before we move on, sorry. Like another reason why this like show also just takes such a turn in this episode is because they set Sophia up to be basically just the female version of Oz. She's as manipulative, she's as calculated, she's as psychotic. So now you have like two, like personality wise,
she actually has a backstory though. She could be the villain that like you sympathize.
She
for.
could be the sympathetic villain.
She's the classic like sympathetic villain that's a little bit more insane than Oz, right? Oz isn't blatantly going out killing everybody. He's killing a couple people,
but he's a piece of shit psychopath.
Yes, exactly. Like he's manipulating everyone else to kill people, right? But she's just killing people. Like she kills the whole house of people, but like she's kind of justified, right? So she's the classic like Thanos is justified, but he's also killing the entire Earth, right? So or half of the Earth. So really not a great look. Yeah, it's just like she has reason. So like you're almost rooting for her at this point, but then you have that like hesitation of like, well, she's killing a bunch of people, maybe not. So yeah, moving on from episode 4, I think episode 4 is my favorite. I don't know about you.
Episode 4 is my favorite,
yeah. I think that's a general theme, but moving on to episode 5. I'm going to get a quick break there. Tyler, if you're looking at this, hour 37:09. I need a quick break of like 2 seconds. I got to go change car seats for Emma. And I didn't want to like miss part of it. So I'll be back.
Here we go. No break needed. I'm going to keep the ball rolling on the Penguin. We're not going to go into episode 5, but I'll just talk. Let's go back to the Batman. All right. What the Batman, because the Batman does not set up Oz to be like a fundamental like piece of this universe. They kind of set him up to be just a piece, like a driving factor used to kind of supplement Carmine Falcone. And then the show just takes him to a complete next level. What I want to see, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but I'm trying to look it up right now. Sorry if I'm not talking too much. But I'm pretty sure Colin Farrell's confirmed that Penguin will be in the Batman 2, but we're looking at 5 to 6 scenes total. How is that going to work? How do you go? And this is more my curiosity just coming to pass. This isn't like I'm not unsatisfied with this, I guess, trajectory of the character of the Penguin. I'm just more so curious. How do you take a character like the Penguin? And now I'm kind of moving ahead. But at the end of this show, he's on top. How do you just give him 5, 6 scenes in the next bit of this universe? Like I'd imagine he would be a major player in the Batman Part 2. I'd imagine. I could clearly be wrong. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Cam and I will talk when he gets back. One thing I want to, while Cam's not here, since we're not going to go ahead and spoil things, Colin Farrell. I don't know. Comment down below. Is this his best? Is this his best role? Is this the best he's ever acted? He's got the. Does he have one Oscar nominee? He's been nominated twice for Golden Globes. I think he's only been nominated once for an Oscar, which was in Banshees, which obviously I know a lot of people say Banshees is his best role. He's fantastic in Bruges, in Bruges. I know a lot of people talk very highly of his performance in The Gentleman. I like him in The Lobster and Killing of a Sacred Deer, even though I don't necessarily love those movies. I'll ask Cam this when we get closer to the end of talking about these episodes, but I think this is his best role. I really do. I think he was great in The Batman, and after The Batman, I was even saying this might be his best role. I was hesitant to say that just because of his lack of screen time. But I mean, he is this show. He is the entire crux of this show, and he absolutely delivered. And he's fucking phenomenal in this show. He had such a hell of a year when this came out. It was The Batman. It was The Banshees of Inisherin. What else came? 13 Lives came out that year. And I believe After Yang came out that year too. Where's After Yang? No, After Yang was the year prior, 2021. But yeah, he is so goddamn good. Damn, they really got a good letterbox picture for him. He's a good looking dude. But I mean, I think I would put his role as the Penguin as his best. Banshees would be a very close two, obviously. I know After Yang is not the most popular film out there. If you haven't seen After Yang and you kind of want to see Colin Farrell a little more reserved, I would say, a little more tame, especially compared to roles like the Penguin or the Gentleman, or even Sacred Deer, where he kind of touches a little bit more on the psychotic side. After Yang is a really beautiful performance, really beautiful movie. Now I'm kind of going off on a tangent, trying to fill time while Cameron changes his car seat. But what else? Let's talk about Kristen Milioti while we're here. We alluded to it earlier. That's a lie. We didn't allude to it earlier. We full-blown talked about it earlier. She is so good. And I'll even continue talking about episode 4, which we were just talking about. That entire final sequence, man. Yellow dress, standing over her entire family and just shitting on them. If that scene didn't win her an Emmy, I don't know what else she needs to do. If that entire episode didn't win her an Emmy, man, I don't know. She in Arkham, just looking distraught, wearing her inmate's uniform with the whatever you call it around her neck. She looks beaten. She looks just absolutely distraught, man. Her range of emotion in this show is absolutely unbelievable, because you meet her in episode 1, and this sentiment kind of carries into episode 2. You meet her in episode 1, and through episode 2 you're, I don't want to say unsure of her character, but she as a character is a little unsure. She's hesitant to support Oz because of his history. She's hesitant to support her family because of what they did to her. So you don't know where they're going to take this character, right? Then episode 3 happens, and that's where you kind of figured she's going to turn a switch, especially at the end of episode 3, where the Maronis pull up and basically out Oz. Hey, Oz is working for us, and he's also working for you. So he's double crossing both of us, and that obviously is not going to sit well with Sophia. Then you carry into episode 4, and Cam and I have been saying this, but this is where the show takes a turn, right? The show takes a turn because of the character of Sophia Falcone and how insane her characterization is. They take her from a character in episodes 1 and 2 who's very uncertain of her environment, to a character by the end of episode 4 is just fully in control. She's taking over. She's like, fuck it. Like, I need to rise to the level of my father. I need to be this commanding. And there's only one way to do that. And the way she did that was to absolutely gas her entire family, except Gia and Vidi, obviously. And we'll get into what she does to Vidi in episode 5. But holy shit, do I love that fucking scene, man. But by the end of episode 4, absolutely dunks on her entire family, and then just plays it so cool. Just plays it so cool the following morning. She's fake emotioning her way out of another sentence to Arkham. It's Kristen Milioti just puts on such a masterclass of a fucking performance. And we know what Kristen Milioti is capable of. You know, we've seen it mildly in Palm Springs. She's so good in Palm Springs. If you haven't seen it, one of my favorite rom-coms of this decade. She's great in Wolf of Wall Street, just doesn't have as much screen time as you would like for her to kind of, you know, be considered one of the greats of this generation. And then obviously she's been in hell of TV shows, a voice role in Bob's Burgers, a voice role in The Simpsons, obviously The Penguin, Black Mirror. She was in USS Callister, a small recurring role in Fargo, some more voice roles in Family Guy. Obviously her, I don't know if you would even consider it a guest or a main role in How I Met Your Mother. I guess by the end of it, in seasons like 9, you would consider her a main role. Maybe in season 8, she was more of a guest role. Like, you knew what she was capable of, and I'm so happy that she got this opportunity in the Penguin to kind of like step out. I don't want to say step out of her comfort zone, because I don't really know what her comfort zone is, because she has played characters with decent range. But this is such another level of stardom. This is the type of performance you put on, and now I can expect Kristen Milioti to be at the top of every casting director's list of people they want starring in their movie, especially considering it's not even me. This isn't like my Gotham bias coming into play saying she's fantastic. She is unanimously being considered the best part of this show. I know Cam just said he thinks Kristen Milioti outacted Colin Farrell, but she is fucking phenomenal. This is the type of role, like I said, Kristen Milioti is going to be at the top of every casting director's list going forward. Cam, I kept it going, so Tyler doesn't need any cuts, but I'm talking about Kristen Milioti and how good she is.
That's fine.
I just been talking out of my ass for the last 5 minutes about Colin Farrell and Kristen Milioti.
I'm glad I wasn't gone for that long, man.
But we could move on to episode 5 now.
Sure. All right. Well, thank you, George. Moving on to episode 5, Homecoming. So this is episode 4 is where the show turns it on to get like really good. Episode 5 is where the show turns it on to get like full on gang war. Batman probably should have stepped in kind of moments in the show.
Just speaking of that,
I think I want to talk that at the end. I agree. We'll see.
Okay.
So Oz and Maroni, Oz and his team capture Taj, Maroni's son, as ransom exchange for the Bliss shipment after, 2 episodes ago when Nadia holds Oz and Sophie at gunpoint.
Yep. They
take the Bliss shipment. So Oz captures Taj. This is also the episode where Oz pulls out TikTok. Awesome.
I forgot about that,
because that's how they know where he is, because Taj is a TikToker influencer. That's baby.
So funny.
Yep. So Oz kills Taj and Nadia, setting them both on fire.
Burns them alive.
Insane.
And then hits Salvatore with the funniest line ever, saying, "Why don't you call your wife, see if she'll pick up?"
Incredible. Hilarious. Soaking wet. You don't truly know why. He runs over to his mom, and Oz lights the stream of just gasoline on fire. Gia, after the aftermath of last episode, is sent home or to a children's home, basically like an Arkham for children is kind of what it seems like to me. Maroney is not killed, but Oz has plans to kill Maroney. Says this is from Oswald or whatever, and then it kind of cuts. You get a little bit of Sophia, and then this is all intertwined with Sophia's episode. So Sophia obviously just killed everyone. They're trying to figure out how everyone died. Obviously it was a gas leak, and they're like, oh, that sucks. They're like, oh, the only person that wasn't found was Vivi. Sophia's got him. I think it's in the basement because it's by her grave. It's by their graves. It's where the Carmine grave is, and then Sophia's mom's grave is, Alberto's grave. But it's down in a cellar almost, so it's not like a grave site per se.
Yeah.
Great foreshadowing, or what was thought to be foreshadowing, is she's basically laying in the empty spot below like Carmine, Alberto, and her mom, which I forget her mom's name. I probably should know that.
I forget too. Unnecessary foreshadowing, because I certainly thought once I saw that, and then obviously everyone on Twitter was talking about it, I was like, oh damn, she's dead for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just crazy, like almost foreshadowing. Maybe it will be one day. But yeah, so Julian Rush falls in love with her. She's now taking over as head of the family. Basically, Johnny Vitti, I think, talks his way out that he was loyal to her dad. He was loyal to her brother or her uncle. He'll be loyal to her. And so you think he's going to talk his way out of it. She's like, oh, awesome. Great.
Dude, she's one step ahead.
She's incredible, man.
Oh my God. This was, can we get to it? The scene. Oh my God. See so Johnny Vitti like talks his way out of it. So you're meant to believe that Sophia actually like believes him.
Like he can help, because he's basically saying he can help like bridge the gap almost, right? From uncle to her, he'll support, and saying she needs that.
But Sophia does not give a fuck. She kept him alive with the sole intention of using him as an example. And the second he opens his mouth to undermine her in front of her men, pops him in the face. Unbelievable sequence. Because literally, you, like, as an audience member, you are meant to believe that he is actually being trusted. Like, she actually wants him. And then the second she pops him in the face, the moment he opens his mouth, she picks up that gun, puts one in his dome. And you're kind of like, oh shit, she never trusted him. She just wanted him as an example. Like, she wanted to cement her like claim at the top of this family in the most aggressive way possible, and putting a hole in Vitti's head was the way to do that.
Yep. And I think, like you said, it's like as soon as he opens his mouth, because like she's explaining like, we're at war, we're gonna go kill Oz, like he's screwing us, we want him. And Vitti's like, all right, now we all know like where we're at and what we need to do, and she's like, bang, shut up. And just insane. Titles their group as the Gigantes, the mother's maiden name. Is the new like family, right? So now you have the Gigantes versus what is believed to be the Maronis versus Penguin, basically, is where we're at right now. And then it's revealed at the end of the episode. Oz calls, you alluded to it, right? Oz calls the guard who was supposed to kill Maroney and is like, hey, did it go through? And he's like, no, it didn't. And Maroney answers the call and is like, no, you just gave me the keys to the exit, basically. And so, Maroney escapes. He's been stabbed. He's putting himself back together. Sophia shows up and is like, hey, we both hate Oz. Let's work together. She's like, he says something about the Falcones and the Maronis will never get together. And she's like, we're not the Falcones. We're the Gigantes. And we're, gonna work together to take out Oz, right? And so this will be the start of a beautiful friendship. They make a nice little friendship alliance. Oz is freaking out that Maroney escaped. He's just freaking out like of what's going to happen. So he and Vic escape to Crown Point, where they think like no one will look because it's basically empty, right?
Shithole.
Yeah, it's a shithole. He finds a token to an underground railway, which is the railway I believe that the Batman is using, that Bruce is using to get back to Wayne Manor. So just kind of fun that they're both in the old railways.
Really thought we were gonna see him.
I really thought we would.
Yeah, once they went down,
I knew
there,
we
I was
wouldn't,
like,
but I really thought we would.
I kind of figured we wouldn't, but I think my delusional side was just hoping like something. Like I was hoping like Vic would be riding on a motorcycle and you should just see Bruce pass him or some shit like that.
Yep. I really thought we would have something, but I knew we wouldn't. But yeah, my delusion kicked in. So now they're in the railways, and he's like, you know what this is? It's dark. It's moisty. You know what this is good for? It's good for mushroom. And so like, yeah, now they're gonna make shrooms. Their bliss in this area. That's episode 5. They're set up. Moving into episode 6, Gold Summit. Oz has his empire. He's got his crew. Bliss is going crazy. They're dealing out. They're going wild. Sophia kills a couple Bliss dealers. Oz then is like, we're going to give Bliss away for free. We're going to get it to everybody. Everyone's going to know it. No one's going to want drops. So they do that. Vic, last episode when they go to Crown Point, Vic sees a person that he's trying to hide from. That's Squid, who's apparently a drug dealer in this area, or a drop stealer in the Crown Point area, and just not a good person, doesn't get along with Vic kind of thing. So he notices in this episode, then Squid notices that Vic like has nice shoes on, has some money, like is making something of himself. So he's like, I want to join the operation. Later, and then Vic goes and talks to Oz about it. Oz is dealing with some other stuff, and he's like, don't worry about it. I got it, right? So Vic's storyline is basically dealing with this Squid character, wants to join the operation. He's like, I'll pay you off. Squid gets mad. He's like, no, you're going to take me with you. We're going to go meet Oz. And then Vic, his first
official body.
Yeah, he kills the person obviously with the car.
Yeah, with the car.
Doesn't like shoot him. And then Vic gets a body here, kills Squid.
First intentional kill.
Yeah, and he's like, why'd you make me do that? Why'd you make me do that? So he's still like grappling. He doesn't want to kill anyone, but he's starting, you can obviously see he's starting to like become this like character that he doesn't want to be, right?
Dude, and when Oz like consoles him and just says it gets easier. Crazy thing to tell
line,
a fucking 14-year-old kid or however old Vic may be.
I always assumed he was like 18.
Probably. I'm probably underdoing it.
That's cool.
How old is Vic? But yeah, that I love that as like a character moment for Vic. I don't think
17.
it like 17. Okay, so 17. Yeah, I underballed that heavily. But yeah, I think that I don't think it was an important character moment, but it was more like a character moment where like Vic understands that like sometimes he's just got to do like he's got to do the unthinkable to one, stay alive, and 2, succeed. And so great. Yeah,
during this episode as well, very important moment is that like obviously we mentioned Frances, Oz's mother, has dementia. Becoming worse off, right? And Oz tells her if she becomes like severely mentally ill and just can't move and is in like a vegetative state, he'll kill her for him, or he'll kill her for her. Like he won't let her live like that. She doesn't want to live like that, right? Very important moment because like he says all this, right? And we'll talk that at the end. But throughout this episode, the reason it's called Gold Summit is basically Oz gets all of the all of the triad members or the head drug dealing groups in a room and has a beer with them and says, like, you can join me, whatever. They all do. And I love this. Just he's cracking beer. He's like giving them out to everyone, right? He calls it the Gold Summit.
Just with the boys.
He's just wanting to hang out, right? Gets all these people on board. Salvatore, during the end of this episode is when Sophia, Vic
she goes
is
to
dancing.
Eve.
Yes. So Sophia goes to Eve during.
Well,
this
her and Maroney first go to Oz's apartment to try and find any clues.
Any clue? They can't find anything.
They can't find anything, which I think is hilarious because they're literally like, this guy has nothing. Like, this guy has literally nothing because they think his mom is dead. Remember?
Yep.
They think his mom is dead.
Confident his mom is dead.
Yeah. Sophia knows that his brothers are dead. So literally, they're like,
we have no way of threatening him.
We have zero leverage on this fucking guy. And then they find the picture of Eve.
Yep. They find a picture of Eve like in his sock drawer, basically. Yes, Eve. They go to her. And it's one of those things like you think Sophia is going to kill her and she's just going to be insane. But really what she does is just talk to her and it's basically like, he sucks. He's a bad person. He framed me for being the hangman when I wasn't. Just kind of consoles with her and is like, he's awful. And
I love that. She hits Eve with like after she explains the whole like hangman situation, she hits Eve with the I guess he never told you that. And you could just see like that's where Eve like switched. That's where Eve was like, I'm gonna tell this person where Oz is right now.
Yep, exactly.
I did think she was gonna kill her though. Sophia killed
I thought so.
Even after she
gets the information.
Yeah.
I did
really
too.
Thought that.
And I think you're supposed to believe that like she's this bad, awful person, but she's not. Like she is, but she's not, you know.
Product of her shitty father.
Exactly.
The sympathetic villain.
And so right in this episode, in this show, you get a sympathetic villain and a shitty villain.
You
don't get heroes, and that's cool.
You don't want to root for any.
That's cool. Yeah, and that's cool. So then after this, they find out that they went to Crown Point. And then we're kind of going timeline, but Oz has had his meeting. He's kind of gained the respect of everyone. Sophia then goes to Crown Point and kind of ends with her entering the apartment when Vic is dancing with Francis, because Oz has finally gotten power back to Crown Point. Is the big thing. Like we mentioned, they haven't had power in 2 weeks because of the flood. He goes and talks to a corrupt councilman and it's like, hey, you're using all the power to feed the wealthy cities. Let's feed Crown Point, or the wealthy parts of the city. Let's feed Crown Point, and basically uses that stack of like information that he has from Falcone on this councilman. Gets power back. They're all happy. You think it's a happy moment, but then Sophia walks in, right? And that's where the episode ends.
Dude,
so
that final shot,
it was awesome, man. Of her just holding
crowbar with the crowbar is crazy.
I thought she was gonna kill Vic.
I thought Vic was gonna die too in that moment. She was gonna kidnap her mom. Obviously, kidnaps the mom, but Vic does not die. Crowbar is crazy because that reminded me of there's a graphic novel called Death in the Family where Joker beats Dick Grayson, Jason Todd to death with a crowbar. So I really thought they were going to like pull inspiration from that and just absolutely ruin my day.
Yeah.
Because crowbar is so crazy. Could have had a gun, a knife, but she probably just walking on the streets of Crown Point.
She wanted to beat someone.
She wanted to let out some anger, man.
Yeah.
That last shot was so good, man.
And then so that's how the episode ends. You don't see her do anything. And then episode 7, Top Hat, obviously reference to like the Top Hat penguin wears, as well as a show he likes. But Top Hat doesn't even open with what happens. It opens as Oz now as a kid. And this is where it's fun. So in this backstory, it's a new actress, a younger actress for Francis, who plays his mother. A younger actress plays his mother in this. It's almost like a how he remembers her.
Yep.
And then you meet his brothers, Jack and Benny. And he really wants to get attention from his mom. And this is kind of why I said, like, obviously Penguin feels that he doesn't get attention from his mom because of his disability and because he's not as good as his other brothers, kind of thing. So Jack is the oldest, Benny the youngest, and he's the middle child, kind of left out. Basically, he wants the attention. He wants to stay with his mom while she works. She's working for who's the old gang member, like his like the leader of the Crown Point.
Dude, I have his
like crime
his face.
Yeah, I've got his face. Let me find it. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna suck. I will find it. Drogu. No, not Squid. Rex Calabrese. Calabrese is the old, like, he used to run Crown Point, basically. Frances works for him. She's doing some work for him, like with counting the books and stuff. They tell him she tells Oz to go with her brothers, bring him the finances that she just did or whatever. And then get paid from him. So Oz wants to stay with her. She's like, no, go with them. He does. They go to Rex, get the money. They're like, well, we got $50. What should we do with this? They're thinking of different things. Jack, being the older one, is like, no, we got to give this to mom. She needs this money to help us, right? So then they go play hide and seek, and they're very clearly picking on Oz again, probably because he's disabled, and they just think it's funny to give him shit. And this is the craziest, like, scene in the show, I think, where Oz, they go hide somewhere, like they go hide in the tunnels that I'm pretty sure these are the tunnels, right, that Oz is using.
Yeah. Yep.
Sewers, basically. He can't go down the ladder because he can't go down the ladder because of his leg. And so they're basically giving him shit because of that. He then closes the door, closes them in. It's raining. It's awful out. They die in the sewer overflow, which, like, I don't think that would happen, but, you know, like, I don't think it's raining that much. It's probably a 20-foot. You got to fill the entire sewer and then 20 feet of maybe they
don't know how to swim.
Maybe that's
so maybe all you need is like 6 feet.
I'm saying they would have been on the ladder, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. True.
So it's got to fill that entire up. Doesn't matter. Not important. I'm just, when I was watching that, I'm like, all right, they wouldn't die. But yeah, so
cinema sins.
Yeah, right. So they drown. They're dead. So Oz, you learn that he kills his brothers.
Dude, it's the remorse. It's the fact that he just goes home
and is like, oh, they're at a movie, and hangs out with his mom.
Zero remorse. Watches his TV show, and fuck, that's I did think we were gonna get
that TV show. So
right. I thought, like, the eventual Oz flashback that we would get is going to kind of show us, like, what happened maybe to his face. Like, why is his face all scarred up? Or why is his leg fucked up?
Brothers try to beat him up and then they slashed him or something.
Exactly. I was waiting for, like, that sympathetic villain backstory. But instead, nothing. We just got he's a piece of shit. He's been a piece of shit since the age of 7. Still a piece of shit at the age of 55. Like, that's it. He is just a piece of shit. Dude. He closes the door. You hear them banging and screaming.
You hear him yelling.
And then he goes back home, sits and watches the TV show. And then it cuts back to the door in the sewer, and the water's pouring out, and you don't hear any screaming anymore. It's so fucked.
Yep, so fucked. Insane. Like, you hear them, like, muffled screaming a little bit when their, like, lungs are filling with water and stuff and dying, and that's just it's atrocious. Because I think they're like 10 and 7. I think, like, they're not
that old,
or maybe they're like 14 and 10 or something like that. I think, because they're a little bit older than that. So then flashback to present. Now you get caught up on where Sophia is. She just knocked Vic over the head, kidnaps Francis. Oz comes back. Yeah, steals Francis, kidnaps Francis. Oz comes back home. Injured Vic, gets him off the floor, all that jazz. Then Maroney, you see him showing up. He's like, Vic, you got to go. You got to get the triad. You got to get them to help or whatever. Vic gets out. Maroney takes Oz, makes Oz take him to the underground lair. of like where he's, working for Bliss. Maroney's basically like, all right, great. Now you're all working for me now. Fantastic. But the crux of this whole thing is that like Vic actually pays them well. Yep. Vic has made like the people of Crown Point scene. He gets the crux of the show. That is, he gets power back to Crown Point, all that jazz. Right. So yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. He said Maroney's basically like, hey, you all work for me now. They actually respect Oz and appreciate for him for like getting them money. So they turn off the power, start shooting, I think is kind of how he escapes this time, right? There's always a nice way that Oz escapes.
Yeah.
And it's worth noting. It's always someone else doing something for him.
It's never him, man.
Yeah, it's never him.
He's such a piece of shit, but for some reason, man, every single friendship he has is just built on loyalty. It's crazy.
Yeah, because he just lies to everyone and makes them believe like he's loyal, right?
I mean, in fairness, these guys in this Bliss, like he is.
Yeah, they actually do get money and stuff.
Yeah, they are actually being treated well.
Because Oz doesn't care about money; he cares about power. Right,
yeah,
so he doesn't
give a shit
about the money.
He wants power, control, and his
respect from
approval.
his mom. Yeah, his mom's approval, which was
all he wants.
So then Oz, they don't torture Francis yet. They basically they do the little red room thing that Rush is trying to do to get information out of her, and we'll come back to that in next episode. But sidebar of like Gia is about to tell the cops that Sophia killed everyone. So she goes and talks to Gia, and basically feels for her and is like, this sucks.
I wonder if that's going to play like an important role whenever we next see Sophia, because like she kind of, you have to imagine you got Gia in this children's version of Arkham, I guess. Sophia's consoling her, already realizing that Gia is like, this place is fucking her up. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Sophia knows what she went through for 10 years, doesn't want Gia to do the same. I mean, it's such a small plot point, and if it does, I doubt it will, but I do wonder if that'll come up like down the line.
Yeah, no, totally. I think it very well could, but it's a big crux for like now Sophia. So after the ambush, like they turn off the lights and Maroney dies of a heart attack, and Penguin's just like standing over him like, I beat. He's basically doing the Daredevil. I beat you. I beat you. But he's so in such a different way.
This is why I love the character of Penguin, because like his ego is so high. He was mad that Maroney died. He was like, he was like, yo, get the fuck up. Like, I want to actually beat you. He was like, get up, you pussy.
Yep. So Sophia then actually starts like considering Oz's trade of just like getting out, and Oz like becomes the kingpin almost, and she can just walk away. So she considers that, but then at the end of the episode, Sophia sends a truck into Oz's lair, and she's supposed to be in it. Basically, she's supposed to be in it.
Once I saw that,
she's trading. I'm sorry. This is at the point where she's trading her mother, and Oz would leave. That's what it is.
Yes.
She's trading his mother. Sorry,
his mother. Oz would leave, and she would have the operation.
Yep. So he, she drives the truck in, or someone drives the truck in, and he's led to believe that her mother's in it. Obviously, you find that
you
it's
knew
just like,
she was not in that.
Yeah, you knew
truck,
she was,
bro.
She finds
thought it was going to be his dead mom.
I thought so too. I thought they killed his mom.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like
they did something even better. In this show.
But I thought it was going to be like a kind of like I know what you did to Alberto, and I found him in the trunk of a car, so you're going to find your mom in the trunk of a car. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, I'm with you. I did think she was going to be in there for sure.
Yeah, mom's so much sicker though.
Sees the bomb. He's still on the phone. She's like,
doesn't even inform his men. He just runs.
I think he yells bomb, right? Or
does he?
I
don't know.
I can't remember. But yeah, he just yells bomb, starts sprinting away as best he can, goes down to the tunnel where his brothers passed, which is just insane as well. Yeah, so goes down into that exact tunnel. That's how he survives.
Man, takes a crowbar to the face.
Yep, and is walking around basically of Crown Point Big bomb went off in Crown Point, gets knocked out by the super corrupt. I believe is this the councilman or no? He's the police officer that's super corrupt. The detective.
Yeah, I
that's
think
corrupt.
so.
That's super.
I have his
drops.
face in my head. Yeah.
So now Bliss is basically gone, right? Bliss is gone, and Oz is taken to Sophia. And you see the little theater that they're going to, or dance club, whatever it is. And then it flashes back. Yeah, it flashes back, and all of a sudden, Oz's mom is good. She's happy. She's like, "Hey, we're going dancing."
No, but it's like in different context now, because this is after a conversation with Rex. Is it not?
Time out. We haven't revealed that yet. That's episode 8.
Sorry.
That's episode 8, right? Yes, you're not wrong. But
my bad.
At the end of episode 7,
I thought we were on episode 8 already. My bad.
You think you think she believes Oz?
Yeah,
and she believes that they just died in the flood or something.
Yes. My bad.
Yes. So now episode 8 starts, and then this is why I say in episode 7 you see it's played by a younger actress. In episode 8, it's played by the same actress that plays Frances in present time, because it's like her memory of it, right?
Yeah.
And so Rush they're trying to get like backstory on it. They learn that that she knew Oz killed them because she found a flashlight in his shirt pocket, right?
Yep.
So that's what it is. And she's talking to Rex, and she's basically like, Rex says 2 things. You have the option of killing him, or like having someone else kill him, or, taking him out, or using his insanity and his loyalty to your advantage. She chooses having Rex kill him because she hates Oz. She hates him for killing his brothers, which
took her boys away. Yeah,
basically calling him the devil, right? Saying you're the devil. I grew up with the devil. And so then they get to the club, and Oz again talks his way out of it, because Oz is like, "Ma, I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna get you a big penthouse. I'm gonna save you." Yep. And so she doesn't end up killing him, or doesn't end up having Rex kill him in that club. He talks his way out of it, and basically saying like, he's gonna get her to the penthouse. She's gonna see all of Gotham. So then flash forward. Now they're in the club. It's in ruins in Crown Point, right? Sophia makes Frances and him confront each other about this. Oz refuses to admit anything about this, like his brother's dying. They're about to take off her left pinky. They're clamping down.
I hated that.
Insane, man.
But yeah, he is so power driven that he will literally not even give up that information, even though everyone in the room knows it already.
Yep,
Sophia
everyone knows. She knows. She's saying she hates him.
Yeah, Sophia's just like, just say it, dude. Just fucking say it. Like we all know the truth. Just say it. That's all we need you to do. He right now
refuses to say it. He's what are you doing? What are you doing, Ma? They stop cutting off her finger. She stands up, breaks a bottle, stabs Oz, his own mother. His own mother.
Which I thought for some reason was like a hallucination at first. I don't know why. I didn't think she actually stabbed him. I really don't know why. Like in the moment, I was like, oh, like no way did that just happen.
Oz again, quick escape. He uses Sophia's or Frances's body, I think, as a shield.
Something.
Gets it. No, someone else's.
How did he get out of that chair? I forgot how he got out of the chair. I think it was another just luck.
It's another one. I think he pulls the shard of glass out of his stomach and uses it to kill the person. Then that person, he uses his body as a shield for the gunshot, steals the gun and starts shooting back. I think is what happens. Again, BS, a quick escape, but that's all this show is him just learning ways to escape, right? And impressively, he does every time. He
certainly does.
Shoots the detective who brought him there, just in the back of the head, right there. His mom has
pussy.
Mom has a stroke, so he grabs her, carries her, and you're meant to think like he really cares about her and he just wants her to live. Like obviously, like
which he does,
and he wants her approval.
Yeah, he's just so consumed by his mom's approval.
I don't think he cares about her. I think he cares about her saying, her telling him he's proud of her.
Yeah. Which is exactly
she's
what he
proud of
said.
family.
Yeah. He says that to her. And we'll get to the end. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, but I mean, like at this moment in time, you're meant to think he still like wants her to live.
Yes.
Because he wants her to live, kind of. But then, yeah, so he escapes. He's patching himself up back at the hospital. She's in the hospital. Vic comes in and basically gives him a big pep talk of like, again, hey, you got Crown Point electricity. You got these people money. Like they respect you, and you should use that. And so basically you have all the triad members, and it's funny, like all the triad members have kids, or just like the new heirs to the succession, or heirs to the throne. And so they basically all say no at the start of the episode. They say no to Vic to like supporting Oz. Sophia then puts out a hit on Oz to all the local triad bosses, to like bounty. He says he wants to kill him, and then she's done. She's out. So then you're later in the episode, like after Vic talks to Oz, she gets a call from the triad member, or he calls the triad member's kid, who I guess I don't know his name, but one of the triad members, their kid is who Vic calls, and then they make it seem to Sophia that they've captured Oz. And then they go to the airport where she's going to kill him and leave.
Clip them all off.
Yeah. And of course they have
that was a big moment. This is where I thought Vic was like, okay, he's going to be a player. Like,
yeah, same.
Because like he orchestrated.
Orchestrated this
he
new
had,
uprising.
Like all of their like loyalties, like they were loyal to Vic at the end of the day. They were not loyal to Oz. They were loyal to Vic because of Vic.
Yep. They
also, I think we skipped ahead. I don't even know what episode it is in, but when Sophia burns the house down, I just want to mention that because that was sick.
That's at the end of 8. That's so right before she goes to the airport. Yep. She starts burning all the house down, right?
Yeah. That was
right
sick.
Before she goes to get Oz. Then it's revealed, hey, we had a secret plan. All the uprising of the triad heads, they're all killed by their like successors. So the next in line are taking over basically. And so Oz then takes Sophia. You think they have this long talk. You think he's going to kill her. He's got gun right behind her head. And then all of a sudden you hear like the whoop, whoop of the police lights popping up. She goes back into Arkham, and which is just even worse of a fate for her, right? She wanted to die rather than this, which is just making Oz even more of an insane person, right? Because he's going to kill the people who don't want to be killed and not kill the people who would rather be killed than go to Arkham, right? So he's just played this out. Sorry, we're jumping around, but earlier in the episode, Oz talks again to that councilman who gets the power turned back on in Crown Point, and basically tells him, hey, this is how you're going to spin this entire story. You're going to be the man that brought in Sophia Falcone, the one that took down the Maroney crime syndicate, the one that took down the Falcone crime family, like all of this. You're going to do this. And he's like, I'm just going to be a bystander, right? So he gets this councilman to take her down and take the Maroneys down and everything, right? And now Oz is obviously at the top of the game.
Yeah, which is go.
No, you're good. What?
I was gonna say that.
Okay, that's fine. And then so after this, Oz then goes to see his mom in Arkham. Is like, we did it. Him and Vic have champagne ready, and food and stuff. And then they notice that Francis is in a vegetative state, which again, back to a couple episodes ago, I just mentioned, like, very important. He said he'd kill her in a vegetative state, but all he wants is her approval. And the last thing she says to him is that, like, she hates him and she stabs him. She hates this guy and everything. So he then does not kill her. But you know,
she's in the worst hell out there.
Oh yeah, he's like, she's sitting right there, she's alive, but she's being just kept alive, right? So Vic and Oz leave. You don't really see what's happening next. Vic and Oz are celebrating on the water. They're looking out. And this is where just all hell turns to shit.
That's so whack, man. Fuck this guy.
Yeah, Oz is sitting there and he's like, Vic hits him with the family to me. And Oz is like, that's the thing about family, kid. It can raise you up.
It makes you weaker.
It makes you weaker. Yeah, and
I can't bring you with me this time, Vic.
I can't bring you with me this time, Vic. Yeah, he
but couldn't have any loose ends. When he said I can't bring you with me this time, I thought he was just gonna let Vic walk away. And like that was the end of Vic's character.
I knew as soon as he said it, he was gonna die.
Yeah, but like, yeah,
I didn't before, but as soon as he said it, I'm like, no,
I really didn't, because like I was like, all right, maybe he has turned a new leaf, maybe his heart fell, but he's just so calculated, and he knows he cannot leave any loose ends.
Yeah, he can't have any. He doesn't want any emotional like tie to Vic or anything.
Says family makes you weak.
Yeah, he jokes him out, kills Vic, steals his money, by the way.
Unnecessary.
Takes his wallet, steals his money, throws his ID in the river.
Wallet. Yeah.
So sad.
I really thought when he pulled out the ID, it was going to be like some other name, like some reference to DC Comics.
Or something. Yeah. Then it flashes to Sophia Narcom, who gets a letter from Selena Kyle, her half sister. Julian Rush is a medic there again. To care for her, gives her that letter, and she reads it. You don't see what it says, but it's something hopefully leading into the Batman 2 of like, hey, we're gonna take down Oz or something. I don't know. Oz, then you see him, he's in the penthouse, you see it, and then it pans over to his mom, who's still in this vegetative state, can't move, only is awake by like eyes, basically looking out into the city. One tear like falls. Yeah, she's in hell.
She's literally with the devil, and she has no choice.
Yep. Tear falls down her eye. He's like in the penthouse suite. No one above or below is something he says like throughout the series. No one above or next to. Yeah. And so then it pans over to Eve, who's dressed like his mom, basically saying, Mom's so proud of you. Just crazy mommy issues.
Insane, man. It's so fucking gross.
Yeah. Then pans out to the coolest shot of the show, and you knew it was coming. Like, it was so obvious. Pans out to the city skyline, and you get hit with the bat signal coming up. And it's like, yes, that's awesome, because it's going to lead you right into the Batman 2, man. So awesome. Do you have any more comments on episode 8?
No, I think we ran through everything. I kind of want to talk future now.
Yeah, so I guess like the one before we get to future, I think just on the bat signal moment is, does this show almost detract a little with not having Batman in it?
See, like
I think the show's still great.
Yeah, I think the show is great, and I think the show does help realize just how much is going on around Gotham that Batman, Bruce Wayne may not know about. Because you have to think about it. In the Batman, right? Batman uncovers the whole Carmine Falcone is essentially the leader of the city.
Yep.
He doesn't find that out until he's Batman for 2 years. Like, all of this has been going on under his nose.
Yeah.
So like I'm kind of like in the same mindset with
I think
Penguin,
the explosion might have been a little too much. But even then, it only happens like a day later. It's only a day later.
Yeah, why the fuck would Batman care about Crown Point? Like an explosion in Crown Point.
I don't know. I think that's his whole point, is he should care about the lower class citizens.
Yeah, right? I guguess. I don't know. I think the show does do a good job at really showcasing like how much goes on underneath Batman's nose. Because again,
I agree.
The entire drops operation in the Batman, that was going on under Batman's nose for 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing. And I'm confident the Batman Part 2 will explain where he's been.
Yeah. I think it will, but also you got to think it's only been 2 weeks, and then this show probably takes place over a span of 1 week.
Yeah.
Right? How long does the Penguin take place?
Yeah, it's got to be.
It's about 1 week after the events of the Batman. And then the November 13th. So the Batman ends November 6th. November 13th is the death of Alberto Falcone. And I think it's only a week long. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't find it exactly, but just like, it's not that long. I think this more is a product of what I'll say. I said earlier, I'll say again, animation's better than live action. It's a product of trying to build this broader universe, but you're not going to get Robert Pattinson for a random TV show to do all of his work. And that's the frustrating part of a live action universe. Again, the show is great.
Yeah.
People are being murdered. There's explosions going on. So it's like,
obviously you have to suspend reality entirely for a Batman universe.
For sure.
I agree. Like there are instances in this show where Batman probably should have been there, but it's like,
and like you think Sophia Falcone hung like 3 people, like during episode 6 before when you see the drops operation, she hung 3 people, and like
that's a serial killer. That's Batman's job.
Yeah, Batman's on that shit, right? Yeah. So again, I do think it only lasts like this whole show lasts a week because a great or little thing, episode 8 only lasts a day. It's that night is when he, you also
have to remember Batman, even, and this kind of rings true across graphic novels, animated shows, animated movies. Batman's involvement is when he has a tie to what is going on. Like the Riddler got him involved. Everything with the Joker, that's an ego trip between the Joker and Batman. That is a like direct tie to Batman. Whereas like what the Penguin is doing in this underground crime world of Gotham, like it doesn't involve he doesn't have a stake in the game. So like I don't know if that's a particular explanation for maybe why he didn't show up. But like even everything with Carmine Falcone in the movie, the only reason Batman got involved is because the Riddler kind of sent him in the direction of Carmine Falcone.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes sense. That could be stupid, but like maybe that's like another explanation as to why he didn't necessarily show up.
I get you. And again, I don't think it makes the show any worse. No, I think it's worth like the question of if I'm truly to believe this Batman universe, animated would be better, where you could just get the actor to come in for like a voice role for 2 hours and then leave. But it's hard to, I don't know what shape Robert Pattinson's in right now for Mickey 17, like, I don't know what his scheduling like this, like that sort of thing. So it's just hard to have the Batman in this kind of show. Moving forward to the Batman 2, what we know releases in October of 2026. I believe it's confirmed, or maybe this is just a rumor that it's set in the winter.
It takes place immediately after
this,
this is in the end of November.
Yes.
And the Batman Part 2 takes place a week after the events of the Penguin.
So the winter, that's cool. In the winter. That's fun.
That's why a lot of people are speculating maybe like some sort of grounded version of Mr. Freeze is coming up. I really do like the theories on the Court of Owls. I think this show has hinted at a lot. Not even the show, even the movie. There's so much to be set up in the Batman Part 2. Remember, Commissioner Loeb died, so Gordon's going to rise to Commissioner.
Court of Owls is something that I feel like people have been asking for, and we just haven't had it good. Yeah, we got it from Gotham, but again, not many people watch that, right? So I feel like
even in the animated world, I think there's one movie that touches on the Court of Owls.
Yeah, like it'd be cool to see.
It's Gotham Illuminati. I would love to see it. And they also opened this door in the Batman Part 1 where
the city's corrupt.
The city's corrupt, and there is all this like underground crime going on beyond the Falcones and Oz. And there are even theories going around Twitter that Bella Real is a member of the Court of Owls.
Yeah.
But even beyond that, I mean, Matt Reeves has set up so much. Harvey Dent's got to come in because the DA died, right? You have Sophia. You have Selena. Their dynamic's going to unfold, which I'm assuming is going to be a 3-way dynamic between Selena, Sophia, and the Batman.
I think like Selena's going to be like semi-crazy, Sophia's crazy, and the Batman's just trying to reel him in. So we'll see how it goes. But Matt Reeves came out and said that Bruce will be finding it very hard to be the Batman. He blames himself for the flooding. So maybe that's why he's not in, the Penguin. Maybe he's just struggling
mentally.
I do think that's hard. Like with the ending of the Batman, is like he's trying to become Hope, right? Because he was Vengeance, and now he's like, I need to be something more. I need to be Hope. So like you would think he's ready to go. I don't know. Well, we'll see how it goes. I trust Matt Reeves in this universe. I think he's already done a great job. The showrunner for the Penguin is Lauren LaFranc was the head writer, and I believe the showrunner. She like knew what the fuck she was doing. So I think they're in good hands here. I don't think like James Gunn's really touching this at all. He's like, you just do your thing, you're crushing it, which is good. Moving on from here, we can do. I guess that's the Penguin and the Batman. I don't know. Do you have any other predictions, George? Or I don't have any right now.
I don't know. I like the quarterback.
We're so far away, man. I wish.
Yeah, we're so far away. I feel like the next big Batman news is going to come with a Harvey Dent casting. I think that's like the next, assuming Harvey Dent is in the movie, which I mean, you have to assume he's in it.
Yep. Never forget the best trailer or teaser trailer. Of
oh my god,
the Batman DC fandom trailer.
Lost my mind. That
yeah, so I really hope they have that shit again. We'll see. All right, moving on. We'll do real quick. I mean, we talked for an hour and a half or 2 hours on the Penguin, so we're gonna fly through the rest of this. Let's just do quick top 10 Batman movies. I'll start with Mr. George. I can start with myself.
I have mine.
You have your list. Yeah.
Do I include Justice League? Is that a no or a yes? Like
I think any movie with the Batman is fine.
Oh wait, then that changes shit. Hold on.
Well, I don't know. I don't have any movie with the Batman.
No to Justice League.
All right, that's fine. No to Justice League.
Damn. No to Justice League.
Yeah. No to Justice League.
No to Justice League. Okay, then I have my top 10. Okay, wait, is this top 10? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, at number 10, I have The Dark Knight Returns Part 1. Fantastic Part 1 of a 2-part animated series. At number 9, I have Burton's Batman. I mean, fantastic. Keaton is great as Bruce Wayne. Jack Nicholson is fantastic as the Joker. I love like the older quirky aesthetic of Tim Burton meshed with like an 80s Batman. I think it works really well. At number 8, I have Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. I'm a defender. I'm a defender of the Snyderverse of Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League. I'm a defender. I will always be a defender. 10, 9, 8, 7. I have Under the Red Hood. Kind of a cliche pick. I know everyone, when they throw out animated projects, Under the Red Hood is like damn near the top, and deservingly so. Number 6, I have the Lego Batman movie. Was going to show up here eventually. I don't even think this is like good as a kid's movie. I think this is good as just a movie. Like, it really does understand Batman lore while also kind of adding in like that fun Lego aesthetic. Top 5. At number 5, I have The Dark Knight Returns Part 2. Part 2 of the Part 1 I had mentioned earlier. I love that old man Batman. I think it's just fantastic. And those are just 2 of the best. Number 4 is Batman Begins. One of the best origin stories out there. It's fucking phenomenal. 3, I have Mask of the Phantasm. Not only one of the best comic book movies, but one of the best animated films, one of the best movies just in general. I love that early style of animation. Number 2 is The Batman. Obviously, it's in the top 2. It could damn well be number 1 after a few watches. And number 1 is currently and has always been The Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. I got mine next. I'll just run through. Number 10, Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1. I'm a big fan of the Long Halloween parts. I think they're great. Next up, number 9, Batman Begins. I'm a fan of Batman Begins. I don't love it as much as you guys, but I'm still a big fan of it. Number 8, probably my most recent watch on this one, other than the Batman, is the Lego Batman. Big fan of the Lego Batman. Number 7, the Batman: The Long Halloween Part 2. Like I said, big fan of these animated movies. If you want to check it out, some good Two-Face, good Joker stuff. I just like the animated movies because, again, like we were just talking, you can build the universe. You can have a bunch of different characters and still have the Batman. Batman: The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 is my 6. And into this, the Dark Knight Returns is good. I like it better than Part 2, but
Boo.
I'm sorry. That's number 11. Number 5 is The Dark Knight Rises. Maybe a little high. I really like The Dark Knight Rises. So I have like an 87 out of 100. I'm a big fan. Next up, Batman, The Mask of the Phantasm. I think you believe this to be the best animated one. Very good. I think Under the Red Hood is better. That's my number 3. I'm a big Under the Red Hood guy. I think it's fantastic. Just the how can you let this piece of shit live when I'm yeah, so good. And then number 2, the Batman. Number 1, the Dark Knight. For now, that's where it sits. I love the Batman, though. I don't know if I'll ever switch them. I don't know if I can do that, but maybe one day. Tyler, do you have a top 10?
I do, yes. Have not seen as much Batman films as y'all have, but number 10, Batman Forever. Need to rewatch it. Need to rewatch a lot of Batman movies honestly, to see where they stack up. Batman Returns at number 9, which I think could probably go up on
Seth
rewatch
really
as well.
likes Returns.
Number 8, I have the Lego Batman movie. Don't really know where to stick that one. It's kind of hard to compare to live action. Because not only is it like animated, but it's like, like a Lego. Like, how do you compare that to these? But then number 7, Batman vs Superman. I like this big step up there. I'm a fan of it. Don't love it, but definitely do not dislike it. Then we have Batman 1989 at the 6th. And number 5, I have Batman Mask of the Phantasm. My animated Batman bag is not deep enough. I need to start exploring those more. Number 4, The Dark Knight Rises. Number 3, The Dark Knight. Number 2, Batman Begins. And number 1, The Batman.
Nice. Yep. I figured. I know you're a big Batman Begins defender, or
big fan.
At least more than me. Those are top 10. We'll do quick news. I don't have much more time. We spent a lot of time on the Penguin, so I'm just going to run through some quick news. Of course, I had to get some real nerd news going. OG Fortnite back December 6th. I'm amped. If Seth were here, I know he'd share my sentiment. But I haven't played Fortnite in a long while. Going to have to boot it up for OG Fortnite. So December 6th.
I already got my Switch plugged in, which I haven't plugged in months. OG Fort is so gas, dude.
I love it. We got a look at like a teaser at Disney's 2025 slate. We got some Ironheart, Andor, Daredevil, Chad Powers, The Bear, The Handmaid's Tale, Percy Jackson. All these are coming in 2025. Of those that I named, what are you the most excited for?
Andor.
Real quick. Andor. Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, the bear. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm most excited for Andor, Daredevil, and then The Bear is very good as well.
Shout out Chad Powers.
Tyler, Chad Powers. Hell yeah.
Is that the one with that's like the Eli Manning?
That's the Glenn Powell.
Yeah, but Glenn Powell's playing him.
Yes, okay, Eli Manning like joke of he went to a college campus dressed as someone and just started slinging it on people. Would have been hilarious. Eli Manning, very good quarterback, like definitely like a Hall of Fame quarterback. Not going to deny that, but like would have been very funny. Like I assume, haven't played in 5 years. Maybe wouldn't have been amazing. Would have been hilarious if we went out there and just kind of sucked.
Just sucked.
But no, it turns out he's very good. One of the biggest pieces of news is that Star Wars removed its December 26th release date, 2026 release date from Disney slate. It was replaced with Ice Age 6.
Was this was December 26th the trilogy? The new trilogy?
It was an untitled Star Wars project as of December 2026. Yeah. It was on the slate. It was supposed to be maybe the Rey trilogy. It's being said that Rey is still a big point. I saw someone say that Star Wars is a nostalgia franchise and they're finding it very hard to pull on nostalgia. I have an idea, Star Wars. Make better movies, and you won't find it that hard. I think any franchise can be a nostalgia franchise, but guess what? You can still make good movies, and then people will care about it more. And you also have plenty of nostalgia. You've never made a Darth Plagueis movie. You've never made a Bo-Katan movie. I don't know. I'm just throwing out random characters in this universe. But you just make good projects, and people will care. You dumbasses. And also, if Ice Age 6 is taking over Star Wars slates, we're cooked. It's over.
We're so cooked.
It's
dude.
Game over. Ice Age 6 is what we're losing to nowadays. We're screwed, man. This might have been the Mandalorian movie. I forget if the Mandalorian movie has an official release date. Actually,
is that okay? Is that a confirmed project? We are actually getting a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I don't know if that was
May
confirmed or just
May
feared.
22nd, 2026. That's a confirmed project that will actually happen because I believe they've already started filming a little bit. But again, just throw Pedro Pascal in a booth to speak some
throw
lines.
him in
That's all you got to do,
dude.
And then we also got the first synopsis for Fantastic Four: First Steps. It's set against the vibrant backdrop of 1960s inspired retro futuristic world. Forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strengths of their family bond, the Fantastic Four must defend Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus and his enigmatic herald Silver Surfer. And if Galactus' plan to devour the entire planet and everyone on it weren't bad enough, it suddenly gets very personal. I think the very personal is Doctor Doom, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Some sort of thing like that. That didn't really tell us anything, I don't think. We kind of knew the 1960s retro.
We knew that already, right?
Yeah, this is just like a first official synopsis.
Then we also had, didn't we get like stills of Galactus already? Like him looking in the building or something?
Yeah, so they had Galactus in a D23 trailer that never got released online officially, got released online unofficially by many, many people, though. So yes and no. Yes and no. We knew Galactus was in it. But again, that's what I'm saying. We didn't really. This is just the first official synopsis. Doesn't really tell us anything more. But I'm excited for the movie. I think it'll be good. Tyler, use your what is it? Adobe like Photoshop and like post a random like Fantastic Four set and then a big like giant tarp like 40 feet high and be like, holy shit, they built a practical Galactus. I wonder what's under that tarp or something. I thought of that like last night. I was like, what if they had like a big ass Galactus that they put under like a random tarp or something? I don't know. Denzel Washington has a role in Black Panther 3. Didn't know we were getting a Black Panther 3. I like Denzel.
This is how we find out.
Yeah. I like Denzel. I like Ryan Coogler. I think Black Panther 1 and 2 are very good. I'll take it. Nothing wrong with that. Denzel also has like 6 more roles left, he says. Trailer for the Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Banger trailer.
So good.
Yeah. Awesome trailer. Going through just the life of Mr. Ethan Hunt. Yeah. Awesome.
What's your prediction? Is Ethan Hunt dying?
Yes.
I think he's gotta.
Predicting yes?
Yeah, so, yeah.
I
think we do see a successor in this movie, though. Like, I don't think the Mission Impossible franchise is over. I think Ethan Hunt is over. That's my prediction.
That would be dope if we get a successor named.
A little Glenn Powell is who he wants. I'd be in for it.
That's what everyone's saying.
That's what Tom Cruise said. He's like,
oh, did he say that?
Yeah, Tom Cruise said he.
But then Glenn Powell said his mom would kill him, but that's like a not really denial.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Small piece of news that I added in. Inside the NBA saved. The NBA sucks. The entire program of the NBA sucks, in my opinion. No one tries. No one cares. You got players that can't play back-to-back nights. But Inside the NBA is hilarious. Shaq, Barkley, the Ernie, the fella, just funny group, hilarious.
It's going to ESPN.
Disney. Yeah, it's been on TNT since 1990, and somehow like Warner Bros. Fumbled it so badly. Going to ESPN. Saved. Shout out Disney. You know, we give a lot of shit to the mouse. The mouse deserves it, but for this, shout out the mouse.
I saw while you guys were talking Penguin, I saw a tweet that was like, if ESPN tries to shoehorn Stephen A. Smith into this setup on January 6th, their headquarters.
Probably will, man. That'd be
no one added, no one removed. That's a perfect.
That's a perfect crew.
Talking about perfect casting. That's a perfectly constructed cast of characters. Just no need to disrupt.
Dude, just some of the clips of Shaq on that show and Barkley are just so funny. They're so dumb, man. I love it. Pretty big news, actually. Conan is hosting Oscars 2025. Yeah. Conan, never a bad host. Conan's great. Very funny guy.
It's not Jimmy Kimmel, man.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel. I think
couldn't do it in a year.
I think Jimmy Kimmel does his job. Like, nothing wrong with Jimmy Kimmel, but Jimmy Kimmel is white bread. Like, he's nothing, but he's there. You can always count on him. But yeah, Conan's funny. So hell yeah. we got a first look at How to Train Your Dragon live action. It looks horrible.
Oh, what?
I mean, come on.
Are you serious?
Come on.
Dude.
Are we serious, George?
It did not look bad.
I'll say this. I'll say that I like the vibe they're going for with like the way he looked in terms of just like he looks like a happy-go-lucky podunk little guy, like too big for his britches right now, but clearly going to prove people wrong. But the way it looks is ugly.
It's great.
But I like what they're going for with the character design, but it's ugly looking.
Boo!
Looks like Wicked.
However,
I'm seeing Wicked today. Did I tell you guys that?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I saw you tweeted that.
Yeah,
that's fun. However, make me want to go watch the How to Train Your Dragon movies again.
I did watch it.
You said that, and so I was like, "Damn, he stole my thunder," because I just want to, but I haven't yet. Did I say I've been watching? I watched the Lord of the Rings, the extended cut.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I was on a plane. No, just Fellowship so far. Got to rate it. I think I'm gonna drop them all. I like.
I'm just not a Lord of the Rings guy.
I'm not a Lord of the Rings. I don't know why. I'm just not into it as
crazy. Much. Y'all are so crazy.
I mean, like I think it's really good. I'm just not into it as much. But yeah, I did start that. I also all-time bait tweet of y'all mind if I watch this slop on the plane? Just posted like four stills of Lord of the Rings. People are loving it. Zack Snyder, next film that Netflix confirmed to be a LAPD grounded thriller. He says it's his first truly grounded movie that he's ever done.
No need.
Kind of out on you, Zach.
Stop. Oh, come on. I'm never out on Zach. I just
after Star Wars: The Poop Fest. Come on, man. Bad movie. Yeah, bad movie. Y2K trailer came out this week. It is directed by Kyle Mooney, stars the Kid Leroy, Rachel Zegler, some other people that I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it looks fun. I like Kyle Mooney, funnier cast of SNL that didn't get enough respect.
I feel like this movie has a chance to be one of the most annoying movies ever if it's not executed correctly, though.
I actually thought the trailer was kind of fun. Like I didn't mind.
I think it's kind of fun too.
Yeah.
I just think Kyle Mooney was an underrated member of SNL, wasn't given enough respect. So I hope he's funny in this. I hope so. We'll see. Mm-hmm. It's a horror comedy, so it could be all
for him.
Yeah, rooting for you, man. And then Game of Thrones movie in official early development. I think they should just pack all 8 seasons into one movie, just for fun. Just to see what happens. You get like Daenerys getting the dragons in the first 10 minutes.
Just one 15-hour movie.
Yeah, the battle.
Zero intermission.
The Battle of Bastards is like 20 minutes into the movie. Just something crazy.
Dude, what they should do is they should give Game of Thrones to Zack Snyder and let him recreate it via film.
Yeah, I think we should bomb
That's
Earth.
What we should do.
If that happens, we should bomb Earth.
God, Arya killing the Night King would be in such slow motion.
Yeah.
It
was already in slow motion.
No, it would be slower than that.
It would be slower motion.
Guarantee Zach watched it. He's like, too fast, man. Let him breathe in the moment.
What comes first? James, what's his name? R.R. Martin.
George
R.R.
Did my bad. Finishes The Winds of Winter, or this franchise finishes. This movie franchise finishes.
The movie franchise.
Finishes.
Yeah,
the book's never coming out.
Never.
Yeah, but the book is not.
That's kind of all time, man. It's like what if
I just didn't finish this franchise?
Never wrote the last like Lord of the Rings or like gosh, I can't think of any writers right now who J.K. Rowling never finished Harry Potter Batman. Jesus, I am all over the place. I am all over the place today, man. I've been talking too much. That's just kind of all time. All right,
you gotta keep writers hungry. You gotta have like a contract stipulation being like 99% of your pay comes once you finish.
Yeah. All time, just never something that's never gonna happen. All right, moving finish this up. We'll do a fun little draft. We got a couple couple
Jeez,
things,
3
all related
3
to
hours.
Batman. Just
What
going to
a
be
lot.
Well,
all
you have to
Batman.
explain how this draft works. I was a little
Oh yeah,
confused
so
with
it's
that
just
idea.
it's just general. Same draft. You can go anywhere, but so what it is, I don't know what this great premise, bad execution shit is, Tyler. But
that's the real quick this week.
Oh, incredible. But yeah, so there's just all-time Batman list or draft, I should say. Everything Batman. So we're going to take 2 Batman actors. We're going to take a Batman movie, a Batman animated project, Batman villain, 2 Batman side characters, 2 random Batman things that maybe haven't been mentioned, and then a Batman television show of sorts. So we'll just go Tyler, George, Cam as listed there. No order, do whatever. You pick around kind of thing. So we'll start with Mr. Tyler.
Okay, interesting. I mean, feel like first pick just got to go Joker for Batman villain. Feel like it's a safe pick to start. Not throwing away your board on the first pick.
Damn.
Let's change this. We're gonna do 2 Batman villains because I think there's more of a
agreed.
More
but only
of a
one
plethora.
Batman actor.
Yeah, so one Batman actor.
I got you. I'll make the changes. You got it.
I'm just typing. Yeah, but you got that bottom one. Yeah, I think that's more of a plethora of choices. So George, your first pick.
I'll go actor, and I'll take my boy Christian Bale.
Incredible. That's fine with me because I really like Robert. I really.
I think when it's all said and done,
Tyler, I'll let you type. I'm sorry.
When it's all said and done, I think Pattinson, I'll rank him above Christian Bale.
Nope, that's fair.
Right now, I think Pattinson's Batman is better than Bale's Batman, but Christian Bale is better as the Bruce.
Yeah, that's fair. For movie, I will then take The Dark Knight, just because as of now it's my highest. So I think this will be fun if Mr. George we'll do a little back-to-back flipping if George.
I'll take the Batman. I'll take the movie.
So we flipped our Batman a little bit, but I think it works out.
Just opens the gate for Tyler to take Ben Affleck.
These are the
Zack
easy
Snyder's
picks,
Justice League.
I'm excited for the Batman miscellaneous. These are the easy picks.
What? So is that just like literally anything other than
anything related to Batman? Could be a bat signal. Could be a Fortnite Batman skin. Could be anything. Yeah, it's always just could be a score. Whatever you feel. Could be a song.
All right. So for side character, well, I guess for villain, like I said, Joker, and I didn't have to specify like Heath Ledger's Joker. So for side character,
no, you just get Joker. Yeah.
Okay. So
side character would be like any
like Catwoman is who I'm picking.
Sure. Yeah.
But I don't have to be like Anne Hathaway's Catwoman or Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman.
Nope,
Catwoman for the side character. And then I haven't seen the Penguin all the way. Can I just pick it for the show?
Yeah, you can.
Won't.
But you're able to.
I only have like one other option for show though, so I might want to pick that later. But you know what? For Batman miscellaneous, I'm just gonna go Gotham City.
Nice. I like that pick. That's a good one out of there. Mine might be a lot of memes from here on out, but we'll see.
I'll just go down my line. I'll go animated project next, and I'll take Mask of the Phantasm.
Hell yeah! I was waiting for you to take that. Animated project for myself will just be. Oh no, I don't want to do that just yet.
You don't have to go in order.
I know. I think for show, I'll take the Penguin. I was gonna take Pennyworth, the like Alfred. Oh, and then for side character, I want Alfred. I forgot. Yeah, side character. I feel like I need Alfred. That's a good pick. But there's an Alfred show about the origins of Batman's butler or something. It's called horrific.
Pennyworth.
Show. Wait, I thought that was like something that was coming out in the future. Is that already?
No, it's been out.
That's been out.
Yeah, Jesus. It's been out. Horrific show. But yeah, I'll take Alfred Pennyworth. Good old butler. Good old respectable man. Happy with my picks.
George.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with this is tough. Hold on. Villain, side character. Side character would be nice. I'll go side character, and I'll go with Dick Grayson.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Should I throw the Robin in the parentheses? Yeah.
Yeah, you could throw that.
For the uninitiated, I feel like that'll help. That'll help.
We are initiated.
All right. So my next
Laid it
pick,
on a platter.
I'll let you guys decide where it goes. Harley Quinn, villain, or side.
I think you got to throw her in villain.
Yeah,
okay. I was fine either way. Just wanted to make sure we were on the same page because I agree, villain.
Suicide Squad tried to make her like an anti-hero.
Yeah.
kind of
Right.
thing, but-
Yeah.
Didn't work. Didn't work.
And then for my next pick, well, I had to have seen more animated. Well, I guess Lego would count, right? But
Yep, the Lego Batman. And it's not a bad pick.
we won't go there yet because I think I do have at least one other Batman animated. So side character. I mean, actually, you know what? Let's just get the Batmobile on the board. I feel like this is kind of a steal at this point in the draft.
Yep.
The Batmobile.
Yep, the Batmobile's a great pick.
Damn, Gotham City is a good pick. It's back to me. Was that two for
Yeah,
Tyler?
yeah, it's you.
All right, so I'll take my show and I'll go with the animated series, of course.
Good pick.
Is it just like Batman the animated
Batman,
series?
the animated series. Yeah.
All right, for myself, I am going to go with for miscellaneous. I'm going to take the Bat card from Batman Forever. Right? Is that no? That's
the credit card.
Yeah, the Bat card. Is that Batman and Robin or Batman Forever? I can't remember which one.
I think it's Forever.
I think so too.
Could be wrong.
Actually, I think
The
it
Bat
could be Robin.
He pulls that bad boy out. That goes insane. And then for animated projects, I'll go with my favorite and go Under the Red Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Need it.
I mean, I'm going to take. Ooh, side character's a good one. No, I'll go Batman villain. I'll take the Scarecrow.
Hell yeah.
I'm a big fan of his work.
That's cool.
All right. Back to me for back-to-backs. I will go.
Dude, I'm trying to find something. I don't know the name of it. It's really pissing me off.
Yeah, I guess I'll just go. I mean, I feel like unless I'm missing stuff, there's not a whole ton of like Batman side characters that I'm familiar with since I'm not a big comic guy. But I don't want to do my other ones yet because you've already picked those. So I'll just, you know what, we'll just go with Commissioner Gordon. Why not?
Hell yeah.
Kind of mid, but
Hey, Gordon's cool. Gordon's cool, especially Jeffrey Wright Gordon.
yeah, they're all so different. I will go then. So the rest you've all picked all your picks, so I don't really need to rush anywhere here. So we'll just start knocking them off. I'll get the Lego Batman for animated project.
Yep, good movie though.
I'll get a vote from Josiah, I believe. Because of that, so at least I got that.
I'll go miscellaneous, and I'll go with Batman the Batman ride from Six Flags.
Hell yeah. See, that's what I was looking for. Some good fun random shit.
Thanks.
Of course, not to take away from Tyler's because he had some good picks as well, but I'm trying to find some deep cuts here.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm trying to find something very specific, and it's really pissing me off. Hold on, I'm gonna text my friend.
Sorry, it's me. My mistake. I think so. Batman side characters. Who do I want? I'll go with some villains real quick. We'll get the Riddler.
Has to be picked.
Yeah, the Riddler, especially like from movie standpoint, has been done very well and then very horribly with the old what's his name, Jim Carrey. And then second villain, I'll do Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul is cool, or Ra's al Ghul, whatever you want to call it.
Probably butchered that.
And it's 1A, but you're on it. You nailed it. You nailed it.
Okay.
Ra's al Ghul is cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm back. I'll go. I mean, I'm gonna hold off on that miscellaneous, hoping my boy responds to me. So I'll go with my
Who'd you
second.
text? Like Alex?
No, my friend. I'll go. I'm gonna go with Batman's side character. Ooh, I kind of want to throw in just like another Robin, but I don't want to do that. I'll go with Barbara Gordon.
Nice.
Give me Batgirl.
Yeah, hell yeah. Very, very good character in the Lego Batman movie, by the way.
Very good.
I love it. Do I have a side character?
So I have 3 picks left. Batman show, we'll just go Gotham. I mean, I really just have no other options, but I like Gotham. I didn't finish it, but the first couple seasons were fun.
Yeah, they're not bad. They're not bad.
And then actor or movie. I mean, again, doesn't matter. You've already picked yours, but I'm also kind of torn on where to go. Batman Begins, I'm more confident about. Actor, I really don't. I'm kind of torn between a couple. So
I had my third pick, but I don't think you'll pick it. Like in case Robert and Christian were taken, I had my third pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think at least he's one that I'm considered to be torn between. But yeah,
Mr. George.
Yeah. My friend responded. Okay. Hold on. Okay.
This better be good.
It is a good one. So I'm going with my miscellaneous. The only Batman game I've ever played. It's called Injustice: Gods Among Us.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, which pretty much isn't it just like Super Smash Bros?
Yeah,
with DC characters.
Yeah, that's the general idea. I used to like that game a lot. The movie itself sucks, but I used to like that game a lot.
So I'm gonna take that.
Yeah, it's basically what if Superman went? What if the Superman went crazy or something?
Yeah,
like I believe Joker kills Lois Lane, I believe.
I'm happy that was the video game that you picked though, because if like Arkham Asylum was the one that you like needed to text a lifeline to figure out instead of like Googling,
that would have been.
I really didn't want the Arkham game, but I'm gonna take it just because it is a very good game.
Isn't there multiple? Which one?
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't it like a serious series?
I think the only one I've played is just the Arkham Knight, or Arkham Knight. Yeah, that's the only one I've played. It was always on. All my friends had PlayStations, and for some reason, like I think they only did them on PlayStations for a little. I definitely played it on Xbox, but I think for a little it was only on PlayStation. I could be wrong. And then side character, I'm gonna go with Lucius Fox, Mr. Morgan Freeman. Last pick in the draft. I'm happy with him.
And then that leaves me with, what do I have left? I have villain left.
One villain.
You know what? Give me my girl Sophia Falcone.
Hell yeah!
Give me the Hangman.
Some could argue not a villain, misunderstood queen.
Misunderstood queen. That's exactly what I would call her as well.
Batman actor, Tyler.
Yeah, I was torn between. I was torn between 4. I was torn between Kevin Conroy, cause shout out, but I just don't feel like I've seen enough to feel good about that pick. I've seen one of his projects. So, I mean, what am I doing there? I was thinking Adam West. Again, only seen one of his projects, but he's kind of like the OG, kind of throw respect. But then the more serious between Ben Affleck or Michael Keaton. I think I really like Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne. But I'm going Michael Keaton. I think the Flash might have soured some people, even though he kind of had some cooking scenes in the Flash.
He was cooking a little bit.
He was cooking.
But I mean, between Batman 89 and Batman Returns, Michael Keaton gets the slight edge for me, even though I'm a huge fan of all 4 of those picks. But
I like the Will Arnett Batman from the Lego Batman.
Yeah, that's fair. Already had enough Lego representation on my board.
Fine. That's who I would have got. That's my third pick. Who I would.
That was a fun draft. We went deep.
Batfleck also. Batfleck also is good. So Tyler selected Michael Keaton as his Batman actor. Batman Begins, the Lego Batman, Joker, Harley Quinn, Catwoman, Commissioner Gordon, Gotham City, Batmobile, and Gotham, the show. George took his actor Christian Bale, the Batman, Mask of the Phantasm, the Scarecrow, Sophia Falcone, Dick Grayson's Robin, Barbara Gordon's Batgirl, Batman, the Six Flags Ride, Injustice, Gods Amongst Men, and then Batman, the animated series. Myself, I took Robert Pattinson, the Batman actor, The Dark Knight, Under the Red Hood, The Riddler, Ra's al Ghul, Alfred Pennyworth, Lucius Fox, The Bat Card, Batman Arkham Knight, and the Penguin. So that was our all things Batman draft. Just a fun little quick draft to end the episode. We appreciate y'all coming out. I appreciate, this time to talk to you guys each week. It's a good time. I will say, just throwing this news out there, not a retirement in any way. I assume kid number 2 will greatly decrease the amount I'm on this pod. I'm not gonna.
What's how close are we?
Yeah, when's the
We are
expected date?
less than a month away.
Oh,
Less
Jesus.
than a month away. Yeah.
Time sucks.
I feel like you announced that last month on this
Right.
podcast.
Just
Holy
throwing
shit.
it out there. I will never, I don't ever want to officially end. I'll probably take some sort of paternity leave from the
ReelTok Podcast.
Yeah, so just,
hopefully you can pop in for the ReelTok Awards for the
I think I'll have to make it an effort to pop in for ReelTok Awards, but if I miss Christmas episode, which will be coming up around that time, if she's born, early for things. Yeah, I don't know. I probably will be missing some episodes coming up. It pains me to say, just kind of wanted to throw that out there. So if I don't show up 3 weeks in a row, people aren't like, what's going on with Cam? That's what's going on.
Don't worry, we'll make up rumors about you.
I appreciate that, guys.
Let me know Bailey's cameo feed to replace Beans as the intro to the ReelTok. Get Bailey on the mic.
We'll get Bailey on the mic. He can speak some stuff. I'll send you a video for sure during that. But yeah, so that was the Batman / Penguin review episode. Appreciate y'all coming out. Seth, again, hope you're feeling better. Hope you're doing well. George, Tyler, hope you guys have a wonderful week. Shout out to our executive producers, Stefan Johnson, Devin Willett. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you to all of our Patreon members. Go join the Patreon if you want to talk in our Discord and chat with us. Less so myself, more so Tyler and Seth are very active in there. George a little bit, me not as much. I'm sorry. But I appreciate you all for your support. Appreciate you guys for coming out day in and day out and listening to the pod. Go subscribe to the YouTube, follow the TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it may be. Tell a friend about us. We really appreciate it. Have a wonderful week. We will see you on Thursday for our great premise, bad execution draft, movies of that. And then we'll see you on Friday for our another round Patreon review. That is Patreon exclusive. So if you want to go listen to that. Next week, we have Wicked and Gladiator. Glicked, if you want to call it that. Let's get Glicked. Have a nice night. Have a nice day. Whatever it is. Bye, everyone.
Peace.